everybody, welcome to Nintendo Power Block here on Watch Rich Network. I am your enlightened and excited and well-rested Eddie V, joining me, coming back from vacation, the one, the only, Bossman himself. We are back in the building, of course, Mr. Corey Derrick. Hello, good sir.
Yes, live at 10:41 p.m. Sorry, everybody who was watching the show live. My son decided not to sleep, so he's still not asleep. And my daughter just fell asleep, so we are late. But we're here. I'm glad one of us is well rested. And how are you, Ed?
I am doing
It's like that.
great.
It's like the Han Solo moment in A New Hope, where he's like, "We're all fine. Everything's fine here now. Everything's fine." How are you?
I am doing well. My Sunday was a day of nonsense, I shall say. But I'm just happy to be back recording, to podcasting, definitely with you. Everybody, if people missed, we did our summer break for Boss Rush, where the shows just took that week off, but we did have some content for you guys for Power Block. So once again, thank you, Lamont, for joining us.
Yeah, nice surprise.
On that episode. Yes. And Celeste had her interview for 1v1, so do go check that out also. And everybody, I gotta say this, Corey, because you sent me this text. Thank you all for the 60 plus views on our standard definition Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie review.
Like the first day, right? Because it went up today. So yeah, it's cool. It's funny because, so we'll get to it in housekeeping in a minute, but we've actually been playing around with the idea of actually like either canceling standard definition or like taking it down to twice a week or twice a month, or alternating it with some other shows that we are kind of bringing to the forefront, like Talk the Walk and stuff. So like,
yes.
Gosh, stop playing with my heart, guys. Like, standard definition was like a passion project for me specifically, and I thought it would be cool to integrate into Boss Rush somehow, and like, it didn't really take off the way we wanted it to, right? And we've been doing too many. I think the idea is there for standard def. It's just we didn't really execute it well. So, but to see Ninja Turtles get that many views on YouTube is just like, I don't know, it makes me happy. But I feel like anytime you and I, or a combination of us, right, with the old movie commentaries we did, or,
yes,
I mean, besides the stuff that I shot at PAX for when we were doing Nerds Gone Rogue stuff, the Ninja Turtles commentaries were the highest viewed things we ever did. So, it's just, it's great to see people do or listen to these, and it's, I don't know. Ninja Turtles is something that's really, really close to my heart specifically, and I know Lamont's a huge fan, which is why we asked him to come on the show with us.
Yes.
Because I think if there's anyone who has just as much or more knowledge about Ninja Turtles, it's him. Probably more at this point, because he's kept up with the comics and the shows and stuff, right? Where my knowledge kind of teeters at the animated movie from 2007, you know. And yeah, I watched the Michael Bay produced ones, and I think I'm a little bit higher on those movies than a lot of other people, just because I like the Ninja Turtles, and anytime we get something new, I'm always interested. But like,
oh yeah,
Lamont's like all in on Ninja Turtles, man. The way that, some people are on Marvel, or the way we are with Nintendo, right? Like, he's just, man. And he got the hardback of The Last Ronin, which I've had that Amazon page open like for like 3 weeks. It's on sale right now, but we just went on vacation, and I think my wife would probably murder me if I bought anything else right now, especially something that will probably just sit on my desk or something.
Desk.
Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, I like Lamont. I wish he would come on more stuff, and it's probably my fault for not thinking of asking him more, right? But great guy, love Lamont. Big Ninja Turtles fan. I love his jacket. He has a Turtles jacket too that he showed off
Yeah.
on Twitter, and it's just, man. Thank you for joining us, Lamont. We love you.
He's the TMNT sensei, like you dubbed him.
Mm-hmm.
I just like, I'm like that's
yes,
that's his nickname here at Boss Rush, the
Yeah.
TMNT sensei.
Love that guy.
Yes. Well, Craig, should we get into some housekeeping then? Speaking of standard definition.
Yeah. So just a couple things. Patreon perks will be changing in September to better accommodate all of our schedules, including some new and interesting things. For now, standard def, I think, will be every other week. Like I said before, I would love it to be a weekly show again at some point, and we're going to try to figure that out, I think, by the beginning of the year. But for now, starting in September, it's going to be every other week, and then every other week will be Talk the Walk, which is our very popular walking simulator and cozy game discussion show. I think what was the one that was recorded yesterday? Sagebrush. Yeah.
Yes.
And Firewalk is also in the can as well, so those will be coming out. I think we're going to try to do Talk the Walk at least once a month, and then maybe one or two interviews a month. So we're still trying to play around with how that's going to look, but if you are a patron, you're still going to get the same amount of shows, just some of them will be different than standard definition. Like I said, we have to nail down what standard definition is going to be moving forward, and until we can do that, we just have to this is the way we're going to supplement Patreon. There's going to be one or two new tiers showing up in the next couple months as well. We're going to have a community interaction tier, which is for Talk the Walk and 1v1 discussions. We're gonna have questions. Celeste has the password to Patreon, and you do too. We're gonna make posts asking for questions for people we're interviewing. So that'll be cool. We're going to try to prioritize Patreon questions for our shows, that kind of thing. So, yeah, some new perks coming. Also, I think we're going to... I'm looking into adding a merch tier to Patreon as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's going to be a Patreon Producer Plus tier where I think if you subscribe for 3 months in a row, you get something cool in the mail. I don't really know how that works yet, so just,
bear with us.
Not that we're like asking for more money or anything, but it's a more complicated tier than the rest of them because it involves physical items, and sometimes Patreon takes care of that stuff for us if we give them a bigger cut. So I'm looking into that. So stay tuned for that. We're also going to do monthly giveaways starting this month, which we'll get into in a little bit. I'm very excited about our first one, Ed. Speaking of Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
We're going to give away some big games, some indie games, some smaller games. Each game will have a different way to enter to win, because we want to get our community more involved in all aspects of Boss Rush, either Twitter or Discord or YouTube comments or that kind of thing. We can't wait to share these experiences and me personally, it's been a big challenge communicating with our community because of time and just, how sometimes you see a comment and you just you want to say something but you don't know what to say, and it's been like 3 hours, and so you're like, oh well, I don't know what to say to that now, so I'm just gonna and that's a big thing in Discord. I don't remember the last time I commented on anything in Discord, which is not good either. But yeah, I want to get more involved, and I want everybody else to get more involved. So this is how we're gonna try to have some interaction. So yeah, let's see. Is there anything else housekeeping wise? Oh, like, subscribe, share, rate, review, all that crap.
Well, Corey, before we get to our Patreon producers, you want to talk about the giveaway since we already brought it up?
Yeah, I guess so. We're giving away 2 copies of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Cowabunga Collection.
Yes.
Digital copies for North American. They're going to be North American codes. So here are the rules: 2 digital North American codes of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Cowabunga Collection. The rules are simple. We want you to leave us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Screenshot the rating and either email it to nintendopowblock@gmail.com or DM at Powblock Podcast on Twitter. A great review on Apple Podcasts will grant you a second entry. The review just can't be "I'm entering the giveaway." We want you to leave a genuinely good review of our show. It really helps with discoverability, and we want our audience to grow, right? That's and the best way to do that for this show in particular is leaving a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, leaving a good review on Apple Podcasts, and yeah. So email us your screenshot of those things or DM us, and yeah. The review on Apple Podcasts, like I said, will grant you a second entry. So Ninja Turtles is our August giveaway, but we're going to give away a game each month for the rest of the year. Splatoon 3, Bayonetta 3, Pokemon Scarlet or Violet, and in December is going to be Powblock's Game of the Year. So be sure to check that out. Surprise!
That is going to be a discussion, everybody, because...
Is it? Because I think I've only played one game that's come out this year, and it's Fire Emblem. So. I mean, I'll have to go back and look, but I mean, unless you count the Witch Queen for Destiny. Yeah. So, yeah, and each one of these giveaways is going to have like a different way to enter. So don't feel like this is going to be the only way to enter. If there's a game that you specifically are aiming for, we're gonna keep you up to date with how you enter the giveaways. So September's game is Splatoon 3. We will probably give it away the week after the game comes out. I know that's kind of, but we don't want to give away 2 games within 10 days. That's a lot of expenditures. Yes. We'll say. October, Bayonetta 3. You will get a code the week the game comes out. November will be Pokemon Scarlet or Violet, your choice. And then, like I said before, December will be Nintendo Powblock's Game of the Year. So that's our giveaway. Very excited.
Yes.
Ninja Turtles. I was watching, somebody was streaming, and I hardly ever watch live streams anymore because I'm just busy. But somebody was streaming Tournament Fighters last night, and I was just watching. I'm like, man, how cool would it be if if NetherRealm was working on a new Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighter or something of that nature? How cool would that be? Anyways,
I wonder if Nickelodeon and Konami would get back together.
It doesn't necessarily have to be Konami. Nickelodeon owns the franchise outright. They could go to WB and say, hey, or they could go to Capcom. How cool would it be if Tournament Fighters was done? What if it was like TMNT versus Capcom, like Marvel versus Capcom?
Ooh, does TMT have a big universe?
Or TMNT versus Street Fighter or something, right? Like I don't want like a 3-person tag team type thing, right? Like, so
I think Tatsunoko versus Capcom did a good where it was 2-2.
I don't even want that. I want 1v1. Like, I've been watching some of this new Street Fighter stuff that's been coming out because, like,
Oh, Street Fighter 6.
yeah, because, like, I'm just, like, really interested in Street Fighter. I'm terrible at fighting games, and I will never be good. And I don't even know, like, I'm so bad at Street Fighter, I can hardly throw a Hadouken, okay? Like, I'm just so bad. But every time I see it, I'm so interested, and it's so fun to watch that I just, like, man, I want to be good at fighting games. I want to at least be a serviceable fighting game player. So, like, I want something like Street Fighter for Ninja Turtles.
It's so weird, and I think we're gonna speak the. I think we should do this as an expression pass. What me and you are good at when it comes to games, because I could actually
Nothing.
say that you'd be surprised, Corey, that I'm great at fighting games, and
I'm
you're
sure
not.
you are, but you also were
But
not to date us or anything, but you also lived in an era where arcades were huge, and I was like as I was getting older,
yeah,
like arcades were dying, right? And Street Fighter
mhm.
and Mortal Kombat were becoming available on home consoles, and the only things that I remember playing in the in the arcades were Ninja Turtles and The Simpsons and X-Men, you know?
But this is the thing about it, and the
Skee
reason why
ball.
I. Skee ball, man, skee ball is so fun though.
Skee ball. Dude, I played so much skee ball. We'll talk about it in a little bit, but
Yes, but the reason I want to do this for the expression pass, because you just put it in my mind, is that I'm not good at Destiny. I mean, I could play, get through, but there's so much that I do not know and that I'm missing and stuff. And I feel like you're such an experienced player with it that I find it. Like if you was to stream or to get online and watch me play Destiny, I'm going to sit down and watch it and be invested into it, because I think it's great that you have something that you're so good at that I am not. I'm good at Destiny. I could get through it because it's a first person shooter, but man, I don't know Destiny from left to right, and you do. You
yeah.
know.
Well, part of
Uh,
that too is like I've actually learned a lot in the last 2 years, even about Destiny, because like I was super hardcore Destiny player, right? When we first
yeah.
met, like remember that was the only game I played on other platforms.
Yes.
Like I had a. I mean, when we met, that was the podcast I was doing was Weekly Strike, which was the Destiny podcast, and then like I wanted to do a Nintendo podcast, but none of my friends played Nintendo platforms, and I mean, again,
And
not to
and
like.
Corey, thank you for coming on Optional Opinion and having that discussion about Destiny with me, because I did that journal for Destiny. Like I was playing every day, and we had that Optional Opinion discussion about you was so experienced, and I was not trying to be hateful, but I was just like,
Well, to be
I
fair, we were
have
talking about
opinions.
Destiny 1 way back then, right? And Destiny 1 was
Yes.
like, it was good, but like Destiny 2 is like in an amazing spot right now. They
Yes.
just promoted their seasonal narrative designer, or narrative director.
Hmm.
I hope I'm saying her title right, but she just got promoted to like narrative lead at Bungie, and it's because like the last 2.5 years of storytelling in the seasons has been so good
Yeah.
that they felt she was worth the
The title,
yeah.
the
I forget
position,
what is her name. I wish
like Julia or something. I
Julia
think.
Narden, yeah.
Okay.
uh she's the she was promoted to Destiny Universe Narrative Director. So she's in charge of all of Destiny's storytelling moving forward, which is incredible.
Okay.
Her and her team have been doing an amazing job telling great stories in Destiny. Like you would never think, looking at Josh and I say this all the time on the show, but you would never think a game about space wizards, using magic to fight off bug people and robots, would
Hmm.
tell such interesting stories of like you know uh gay relationships and racism and fascism and like all these like we are learning about uh, uh in the story right now, we're learning about how maybe living forever is not the right way to live, right? Because like obviously Destiny, like there's a lore reason for you to revive in that game, right? Where
Hmm.
your ghost revives you when you die, right? And we're starting to see the complications of living longer than a normal human life, right? And that's a really, it's been a really powerful story beat this season. Granted, the seasonal event and the missions haven't been the best, but the story is awesome, you know?
Yeah.
And so I just
And I think that's why I enjoyed Destiny 2 way better than the first one because the story felt memorable with it. And everybody, of course, this is a Nintendo section. And we're going to save it for expansion pass. But you're right. I always come to you to be like, what's going on? And I think that's why when we talk about the cutscenes and stuff and what they're implying for their next chapter in the game, it's so intriguing and
mhm,
it's so good. And I'm just like, who thought of this?
yeah.
And why? I've always said because of their cutscenes, I would love to see more of Destiny. Like even if it's an animated show or even a movie and what they do, their cutscenes are phenomenal. The trailers are some of the best trailers that I have seen.
Yeah,
And I've
they know how to make cinematic gameplay. They know how to make gameplay trailers cinematic and
yes.
interesting. And like, yeah, sometimes they don't always hit the notes that they hit in the trailer, right? But like, they know how to get you excited for an expansion, even if you don't play the game.
Yeah.
I encourage anybody to go watch like, just go watch, just type in Destiny 2 Witch Queen trailer or Beyond Light trailer or something. Just watch a trailer,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
even if you aren't interested in the game at all, I guarantee you one of these trailers will get you like, oh yeah, that's cool. I don't know who these characters are or what they're doing, but it looks fun, looks cool.
Was it the Beyond Light trailer that I I think it was kind of like well choreographed and action packed with it because I think they all three
I mean,
came together at the
there's
end.
new trailers like every 3 weeks that are that way. So I don't know. I'm gonna be
Oh,
honest with you, I don't know.
and and the one Destiny content creator who does like the movies breaking down the lore and stuff.
Oh, my name is
Um,
Bife. Yeah, he's awesome.
yes, watch his work. Phenomenal. I don't know why he's not hired by Bungie at this point in time. His
Probably because he's
work
making
is
more off of his YouTube lore videos than he would be at
oh
Bungie. No offense to anybody who works in the lower
he
tier of Bungie, but I'm sure he's
he
making more money.
he, he is phenomenal. His work is amazing. Like dude, they're like our movies. Like you could sit down and be like,
Yeah.
what in the world? Like the
Well,
time and effort that you put into this.
every time a new expansion comes out, like 3 weeks before an expansion, he puts out uh the story so far in Destiny, and he'll
Hmm.
just add a section to it, right? Where like it started as a 2 hour video, and now I think it's like 4.5 hours as of the Witch Queen. So like it gives you like an overview of the lore and the story, like even the story of like before your guardian wakes up. It's just incredible. So sorry everybody, I didn't mean to like talk about
Yes, if you guys
Destiny.
want to know more, check out Tower Casual. Shout out to you and Josh and all the people in the community for Tower's Casual. If you want to learn more, I just had to. That's a great exhibition pass to have to see what we're good at and what we're not good at, and
Yeah.
vice versa. So,
Yeah,
uh,
I you know, other than Nintendo, I think Destiny, like more than even just like a Xbox, being an Xbox or a PlayStation fan, like I'm a
hmm
like Destiny is up there with Nintendo at this point, where like I would argue like I feel like everybody at this point somewhere has their forever game, right? Whether it's, Fortnite or Smash or Warcraft
hmm
or something, and like Destiny is my forever game. Like as long as Destiny is going, I will be playing it, right? The same as like I mean, Nintendo games, right? As long as Nintendo keeps putting games out, I'm going to be playing them. It's to the
Yeah.
point where like, Ed, we had this conversation a couple weeks ago, and I know like this isn't really like, oh, you're a terrible gamer or whatever, but like, I want to be an expert in the things that we podcast about, right? Like Nintendo Power
Yes.
Block is I feel like we do a good job here because uh we've been playing Nintendo games for so long, right?
Yeah.
That like I feel like I don't want to say we're like experts, but like I feel like we know it pretty well, and like to be an expert, right? Like I really have to be focused and invested in an ecosystem, right? And so
Yeah.
with my time and availability, I guess you would say, in terms of playing games and stuff, like Nintendo is always going to be my platform of choice. Even like not that I am, but like I've considered canceling my Game Pass subscription because like I don't play a lot of games on Game Pass, to be honest with you. Like I play a little bit of Halo, I'll play Gears, but like I usually buy Gears and Halo anyway, is outright, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I mean, there's a few games on there that I wouldn't have ever played if I didn't try them out on Game Pass first, but I always ended up buying them on Switch anyway. Uh, but like in order to be an expert, and I heard this on another podcast where like, I feel like somebody needs to be the expert in one platform, and it works better when there's three people on the show. But like, if someone is an expert in, let's say if I only played on Nintendo Switch, right?
Yes.
Let's say you dabble in other platforms, but you play on Switch, but you dabble in other platforms, and then we just had someone who straight up played on other platforms and dabbled in Nintendo Switch. I feel like that's a great, well-rounded show, right? And again, we don't have a third person on the show, but I'm just saying that as an example.
There's a great balance with that.
Yeah.
Because yes, you do have the experts, but you got people from the outside looking in who could offer their opinions, or who could, offer sometimes a counter, not argument, but like a counter discussion to what everybody's having. It still be respected and hear people out and everything.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah.
like I wish we had a third chair sometimes, just to, not that we need one, but just to bounce, other conversations off of and stuff. Like I miss Jacob dearly, right? And
Mhm.
I always love when Grayson's on, and I love when Stephanie's on and stuff. But I kind of feel like the show, we do lean Nintendo heavy a lot, right? I mean, I usually I usually play devil's advocate and criticize Nintendo when we need to, right? But anyways, I'm just ranting now, and we're just anyways.
Yeah. Well, Corey. Thank you for that giveaway and the housekeeping.
Oh yeah,
We got some Patreon producers to the shout out though. So Corey,
yeah.
let's give us some shout outs.
22 minutes later. Yeah.
Everybody, this is Nintendo Power Block. We're back in the building, so
Oh no.
I guess get used
I'm
to it.
so glad we started right on time at 8:30. I mean, 10:45. I mean, yeah.
Let's just say the monsters has kicked in, the energy drinks.
Which one?
Ooh, ooh.
Oh gosh, I'm not going to bed tonight. All right, so you can support Nintendo Power Block and the Boss Rush Network over on Patreon. You can visit our Patreon page, patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. It is a subscription service, a monthly subscription service where you can donate a certain amount of money and receive different perks depending on what tier you subscribe at. We currently offer a $1 tier, which grants you early access to 4 separate shows, including Pow Block's Expansion Pass, our supplemental show, which I feel like we don't really promote that enough. If you're listening on audio feeds, it comes through on your audio feed on Sundays. But if you're watching on YouTube or whatever, like check out Expansion Pass. Sometimes those episodes are more popular than our normal ones. Maybe because they're like 2 hours shorter. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, you get early access to Expansion Pass, the audio feed of the Boss Rush podcast, Boss Rush After Dark, and Standard Definition, and soon Talk the Walk and 1v1 interviews. But also, Ed, if you subscribe at the $5 tier, you get early access to all the shows plus a Patreon producer credit here on this very show, as well as the rest of our slate of programs here on the Boss Rush Network. So without further ado, Ed, our Patreon producers for this episode are, let me do the tier. I got to click here. Okay. Adriel Munger, Celeste Roberts, my wife, Sana Dierig, Francisco Centillan, and Rebecca Jewell. I want to thank all of our Patreon producers. I want to thank all of our patrons, and I want to thank all of our free listeners. Remember, if you don't subscribe to Patreon and you listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star rating and review. It really helps. It takes 30 seconds to leave a 5-star rating. So if you could do that for us, we really appreciate it. Also, that grants you an entry into the giveaway. So if you email it or DM it to us, so yeah, get on that, everybody.
Yes.
So yeah, patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. We really appreciate your support, and new tiers coming soon, including a $3 community interaction tier, and hopefully a producer plus tier, which will grant you some merch. So
Yes. So everybody, Corey.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
No.
You gotta get ready.
What am I ready for? I don't like
You
this.
know what time. You know what time it is.
Oh no.
Everybody, it's time for Snacktendo. Who should start? Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Well, this morning for breakfast, I had egg whites and turkey salad. I did have 2 cookies tonight because I needed some sugar because we started so late. I'm trying again after this vacation was kind of like a reset for like a diet type thing because I am just fat. So on vacation, Ed, let me paint you a picture here. So when I went on vacation, 20 minutes into the vacation, dude, our air conditioner went out. And I think it went out before then. It was just cool outside, so it didn't feel as terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, dude, it was so hot. And we got it fixed when we got there, but we had to get it charged, and then it overcharged, and our computer system needed to reset in the car, and it was blowing out hot air, and we had to stop a lot because it was getting hot, and my kids threw up, and we were really scared, they were overheating and stuff. So we stopped at a Target and got fans for them, and it was we were sweating. It was 90 degrees outside, and when we opened the door, it was cooler outside than it was in the car. It was that bad, and we were so scared. We were so scared for the kids. But we got it fixed when we got there. But when we got there, Ed, so the first night we just got pizza and fries, and we went to Rehoboth Beach in Delaware, it was really nice. It might be a permanent vacation spot for us in the summer. It was so nice. But we got pizza the first night, and it was pretty good. But the real star of the show, Ed, first of all, I have 5 things to talk about in Snacktendo, Ed.
It's all in your hands, boss.
Yeah, and I'll post pictures in the Snacktendo channel on Discord. Join our Discord. Join the Boss Rush Network Discord.
Yes.
Just it's available. I don't know. You find us. We tweet about it all the time. Go find it. The first thing, Ed, I had 2 sets of blackened shrimp tacos. So My only gripe with these is that they were like $18 and $20, and I only got two. I wish I would have I wish they would have given me three, right?
Yes.
But only got two. Um. So yeah, they were blackened shrimp with some spicy coleslaw and some cheese, and then some chipotle drizzle on top. Ed, let me tell you, the
Ooh.
chipotle drizzle was so good. And yes, they were in like these kind of grilled tortillas, really, really, really delicious, so flavorful. Uh, Also, we had like fries like 10 times on this vacation. Like if I eat another french fry, it's going to be too soon. I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so tired of french fries." But they were good, but so those were good. I had two different sets from two separate places. I think the first set was better, to be honest, but they were both so good. I really love blackened Cajun shrimp. And when you put it on a taco, Ed, you put that on a taco with some spicy drizzle. I'm a sucker for it. Okay. Uh, we had pizza like 3 times. I texted you about the pizza too. I'm like, Ed, if I eat another piece of pizza, I'm gonna just throw up.
Well, the funny thing about it is that you told us there was like 5 pieces of place in your area that you
Mm-hmm.
would stay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we had pizza from 3 of them. I mean, the pizza was really good. It had like that really good dry, thinner crust. Not thin crust, but just like not a lot of bread, which I like. Like I like a thinner crust, like New York style pizza.
Yeah.
It was definitely way closer to New York style pizza than like Domino's or something, right?
Kind of like Jack's, but if it had a little bit more.
Never heard of Jack's.
You know what?
I've never heard of Jack's. I don't know what you're talking about.
Jack's Pizza? You never heard of it?
No.
The one that you throw in the oven? Oh, well, I'm surprised. I
Oh, we
thought you
don't
did.
do oven baked pizza here. The only oven baked pizza we do is from Aldi. Okay, Mama
Oh,
Cozy, Mama Cozy's all the way. Mama Cozy's 4 cheese pizza with some sprinkle some Parmesan on it when it comes out, so it's 5 cheese. So good, highly recommended. $7 4 cheese pizza at Aldi. Takes 12 minutes in the oven. Delicious,
Okay.
delicious. Also, their supreme pizza, delicious.
Yeah, that Supreme is hot. When you told me about it, I went and got one. I'm like, ooh, this is good. This is
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, man. I'm telling you. And then what else was that? Oh, so we found this really great kind of like Greek I don't think it was like all Greek, but it was like
hmm
shawarma and gyros and or euros, whatever. That kind of stuff. I guess Mediterranean would be the correct term. Uh
Yeah.
we were looking at the menu, dude, and I was like, well, I could do some shawarma. I didn't really want a gyro. Uh, and my wife's like, look. I'm like, what? She's like, look at this. They had gyro quesadillas, Ed. Let me paint you a picture of this, okay?
Oh,
So
no, before you get on, everybody, I didn't know this was a possibility of this even happening.
look, I didn't know it was either until I saw it on the menu. I'm like, this can't be real, dude. Okay, let me paint you a picture. Okay,
Go ahead.
the seasoned lamb meat inside,
Oh.
Cajun lamb meat inside. Okay,
Wait,
diced.
what?
What? Yeah, in the quesadilla,
I n-
gyro
never
meat.
heard of it.
Yeah, gyro meat, seasoned gyro meat in the quesadilla, right? Diced onions and tomatoes inside. Okay, I could do without tomatoes, but it was fine. Melted feta cheese inside.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in a gyro pita, grilled with Cajun and seasoning salt, grilled in seasoning and Cajun seasoning, like buttered,
Okay.
like buttered and grilled, and the
Mm-hmm.
wrap was in the seasoning, and dude, so good. It was so good, and it came with tzatziki sauce to dip it in. Oh, tzatziki sauce is the
It's a
best.
bomb. It's literally the bomb. But see, okay, I was thinking the sauce was in it, but I'm just like, no. When you said feta, I'm like, okay, it does need the cheese for that.
Hmm.
Um, the tomatoes, I don't know if it's in your era, but like our gyro place, they add tomatoes to it
Hmm.
for it. When
Ours
we
does
eat
too.
it. Okay, so maybe that was part of it. I know the onions definitely have to be in it. Dude, you sent me a picture of that, and
Yeah,
when you said what it was, I'm like, wait a minute, how's
I
this
I want to I want to
possible?
tell you, Ed. I sent you the last two pieces of 7.
Wait, what?
Yeah, like they chopped it up, like they rolled it up. It was more like a chopped up burrito, I would say, style
Uh-huh.
thing. But like, yeah, dude, there's 7 pieces, and I bet, and like the first, like you obviously eat the end of it first, right? And I picked up the end, and I was
Yes.
like, okay, this is pretty good. But the seasoning didn't hit the bread, like the wrap, until the second piece, and I'm like, oh my gosh, man, it was so good. It was
How quickly
so.
did it? How quickly did it disappear?
Oh, dude, I was like, I was like shoving it in my mouth. I'm like, oh, I promised Ed I would send him food pics. Let me send him the last 2 bites of this thing.
And then you sent it, and then just because it looks. I don't know how big it was, but it looks
Oh,
like
it was probably like this big, I guess. I don't know. This is great
okay.
for audio listeners. I guess like I I don't I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. It
Was
was
it
big
kind of
enough
like?
to be full.
Because was it kind of like the size of a Taco Bell quesadilla, or a little bit bigger?
Oh no, it was way bigger. It was like a Chipotle burrito size.
Oh, okay. Then everybody imagine that.
Yeah.
Anything bigger than a
Imagine
Taco Bell.
imagine a Chipotle
Okay.
burrito that they kind of smash down to flatten it out.
Hmm.
Not like a Chipotle quesadilla, but like a Chipotle burrito that they smash down and then they cut into slices.
Okay.
So,
Dude, you said that, and my mouth watered. Like I really didn't. I don't know if I was having Chipotle or whatever I was eating, but when you said that, I'm like, I want this. I don't want what I'm eating right now.
I'm telling you, dude, it was really good. And
Oh my
it
goodness.
was really good. And like I'm not like the biggest gyro fan, but it was pretty good. So,
It's that
uh
seasoning though that did it. I'm
yeah.
assuming.
Yeah, it was really good. So, the last thing I guess I'll talk about is I had I had 2 chocolate milkshakes while we were there, and we got ice cream. But oh, I forgot what else we got. So the last night we went to this place called the Purple Parrot, and it's a gay bar, but also they have like good bar food, and also there's
Hmm.
a funnel cake place right down the street from it. So like what I did
Ooh.
was we ordered through the app our
Hmm.
dinner for this place. And then I went to the funnel cake place and ordered 2 funnel cakes, came back and got our dinner, which was for me a my gosh, my kid is crying again. This is unbelievable, dude. It's 11:30 and he's been crying since 7:45. Uh Everybody's just going to have to deal with him screaming. I'm sorry, everybody. Uh I had the Cajun shrimp BLT wrap. And the best part was is my wife got a sandwich with bacon on it and she doesn't eat
Mhm.
bacon. So she gave me the bacon. So I had extra bacon and it was delicious. So, and also
Uh,
funnel cakes dipped in hot fudge.
it's so funny that you speak of funnel cake. So, everybody, I went to Six Flags, um,
Oh, I heard there was
over.
like something. I heard there was shooting at one by you. Did you hear about
Um,
that?
No, I
I think it
didn't.
was yesterday or the day before. Yeah, I guess like somebody. It happened at like 7:30 at night when people were leaving the park, and there was like a drive-by shooting, and 3 people went to the hospital.
I'm going to have to look it up. The one in Gurney, Illinois.
I don't. They.
Oh,
I
oh,
don't know.
if it's in my area in Illinois, then it would have been Gurney, Illinois. I'm gonna have to look that story up because
I'll
nobody
look.
was even.
I'll look it up while you keep talking about your.
Okay, so I went to Six Flags, Great America here in Gurney, Illinois, with my family celebrating my nephew's birthday, and I had a pizza there, which was really good. Uh, truly enjoyed that. But I got my funnel cake sundae. And it's a funnel cake with powder on it with fudge, but it's also with ice cream with it. And I ate that ice cream so quick because it'll melt because of the heat that comes from the funnel cake, and it was just so good. I love Six Flags funnel cakes, and that's the only place that I would get funnel cakes at because no one in my area makes them. I cannot find funnel cakes anywhere. If I do find it, I have to buy it at a store, and it's kind of like, oh, I want a funnel cake that. If I go to a place and they make it, that's where I want to go. But if not, then I have to go to Six Flags and get one. Uh, so I enjoyed that. Um, Friday I went to a place called Lazy Dog, where people could bring in their dogs, and I was thinking it was a hot dog place. No, it's like a full bar and restaurant where I think you got to make reservations, but you can also order and stuff. And I ended up paying like $40 for food and dessert. Okay, fine, whatever. But I got a ginger salmon uh meal with stir fried vegetables and white rice. Oh man, everything was perfect and the salmon was top notch. I ate all of that and literally fell asleep. I was just like, I'm like, was I supposed to record something recording? I was out of it, dude. It was so good. Um, the brownie that I ordered, like a Sunday brownie, I was good. It's nothing too special, or not even their ice cream was that special. I'm like, it was good. But before I got home, I needed to get something to drink. So I stopped by Arby's to go get me like a mellow yellow. On top of that, I got 4 mozzarella sticks. Arby's mozzarella sticks is on point. I'm not about to lie or anything. I'm sorry, Burger King. Yours is good, but yours is just too thin. Arby's, I know it's like for the 4 pieces like 369 plus tax, but they're fat and they're gooey and they give you that good old sauce, marinara sauce. I'm just like, this is holiness right here. So I ate the mozzarella sticks in the car, and then I went inside and ate my dinner and everything. So Lazy Dog, I think next time I order from them, I am going to get like a burger to try out their burgers and fries and stuff because I didn't really know what I wanted. I did have a problem with it though. I got there and because they told me they send it do text after I did my ordering. It was just like when you get here, park in wherever and text us that you're here. So I did, but I think because they were so busy that they didn't realize that I had texted them, so I had to go in and go get my food and everything. And the lady apologized. I'm like, no worry, that's okay. I understand. I seen all these cars and them being busy, but it was kind of weird to text and I'm like, I did curbside pickup. No one's coming. What's going on and everything. So, but yeah, that's kind of. I mean, did some other snacks and everything. I went to another store to kind of manage for my job, and they didn't really have um any new snacks that my store didn't have. Uh what's weird though is they don't have any ice cream because their freezer kind of broke. and we don't have no ice because the people who deliver ice to our store have truck problems. So we haven't got any ice or anything for a good while. So I hopefully that get fixed and everything. But yeah, there really hasn't been no new snacks just yet. Um but like the lazy dog was something I was looking forward to because I was just thinking of what to eat for a Friday night meal after work, and I was talking about lazy dog, and one of my other associates said that she's been there and everything, and she's just like they got great drinks, great dessert, and different kind of food. So I checked them out, and she was right. It was really good. A little bit expensive, but hey, you pay for what you get. You know, a lot of the fish stuff is always going to be like $20 some with that. So yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, yes, Corey.
No, I'm unmuting myself. My son was crying, so I muted myself while I was
Oh,
not talking. That's all. Now he's done,
yes,
so I'm unmuting myself.
yes. So,
Unless you want me to not talk, Ed.
no, I want you to always to talk. Uh, so I mean, had some sushi, had some uh Domino's and everything. Me and I brought my associate some chicken, bacon ranch for her Domino's, and I had a Philly cheesesteak sandwich, which was really good. But their Philly cheesesteak pieces is also pretty good. I'm like, oh, this is interesting, because I think they do white sauce for it. I was like, oh, this is really good. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my Snacktendo. Um, but Corey, your vacation food, man, it really blessed my soul.
Yeah,
and it really made my mouth water.
I'm adding it to the Discord right now, just so other people can look at it. Oh, I did end up doing some pizza. I did take pictures of pizza. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, because I know we was talking about the crust with the pepperoni one, but you said it was okay. I think the look of it looked like it was gonna be some nice garlic taste that you could just bite in.
It wasn't really that garlicky, to be honest. It was actually pretty dusty. Like it was like
Ooh.
oh, there's those tacos. Dude, those tacos are so good. I love tacos, man. I gotta tell you, like I used to like, when you're little, they always ask you what your favorite food is, and it was like, well, pizza. And I'm like, no, dude, tacos, like specifically like these shrimp tacos I had, and like, just tacos and burritos and quesadillas in general. I'm a Mexican food lover through and through, and it was just so good, man.
Look, I'm not about to lie. I agree with you because now I know Taco Bell is all I talk about when it comes to tacos, and take it how you will.
Hey, don't ever hate on the Doritos Locos taco.
Oh, those are I like the Cool Ranch ones too, but I think I like the Dorito ones better.
Yeah,
I think there's more flavor in the Dorito ones.
Yeah, the Dorito ones are better. And then like you get some fire sauce on there. You just put like 5 or 6 packets of fire sauce on.
You should drown that mug.
Well, I don't get lettuce. Okay, I say no lettuce, extra cheese with fire sauce on my Doritos Locos tacos, and that's how I eat them.
I just tell them to give me everything. I always ask for mild sauce, but never use it.
Mild sauce.
Corey, I am an Aries with fire. I cannot have hot sauce.
Yes, you can. Just eat it on the toilet like everybody else.
Not true. Now, I will say.
You can't eat fire sauce, but look.
Corey, I'm trying to come see you next month. You already know that I want you and me to have the same burrito. You already know I'm going to turn into Charizard. So I'm going to need a big bottle of water. You know this.
Well, we'll see how that goes.
But yeah, everybody, I think that's going to be it for Snacktendo. Because, man, we got some playing with power.
Yeah.
Corey.
Guess what, Ed? I actually played video games like a lot. Uh, I beat Death's Door finally. I
Yes.
think with like a percentage of like 83 or 84%, somewhere in there.
Hmm.
That game is amazing.
Yes.
Like that game is just it's one of the greatest like I'm not like a huge indie guy, and my favorite indie game of all time is Shovel Knight right there, right?
Hmm.
I mean, it's up there with Shovel Knight and Axiom Verge for me. Like it is one of the best indie games I've ever played, and it's one of the best games I've ever played. Period. Uh, I would actually go so far to say that it's probably a top 20 game of all time for me. Um, I was just impressed all the way through the music, the characters, the story, the bosses. Uh, I like that it was short and it didn't overstay its welcome, even though it overstayed its welcome with me because it took me like 2 months to beat it because I don't have time to play games. But
They do.
like a normal person, like it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's just challenging enough, and it never really felt like it was the game's fault when I died. It always felt like it was my fault, because I was like, oh, I didn't dodge fast enough, or oh, I didn't anticipate this part of the pattern coming up so soon of the boss, right, or something like that, or I didn't upgrade my weapon, and so, even the last boss, I don't really want to spoil it, but there's like a almost like a chase sequence in the last boss fight.
Yeah.
And even that was like, okay, I got to memorize the patterns. I got to, minions. Oh no, oh no, no. And like that game, if you haven't played it, you need to play it. If you are a Zelda fan, if you are a Soulsy, if you've been interested in Dark Souls at all, but want something that's a little bit a lot more tolerable in
Hmm.
terms of challenge. Uh, if you like isometric kind of puzzle solving / action games, this game is a must play on any platform that you own. It's on everything. It's on Game Pass if you have Xbox or PC. Like, play Death's Door. It's one of the greatest games I've ever played.
I know if I play Death's Door on Xbox, I'm only playing it to get the achievements. You know.
Yeah,
Uh
but I
but I
mean, it's
feel
also
but
on
I
Game
think
Pass. So technically, if you have a Game Pass subscription, you're getting it with your subscription. So
well, yeah, but well, I already bought the physical on Switch. I think I there's just something more so enjoyable on that game on Switch. And I don't think it's the Zelda feel to it. It's just something about it just like connects to me like, and maybe I think maybe it is the Pro controller for me playing this game. It's just like I think with
see, I
this
played it in
controller,
handheld mode
this
most of
game,
the time.
I played it on TV. So, I think it's the Pro controller for me that just made this game feel right. And it's a phenomenal game. I agree with you. Play anywhere that you can. Um, I think that's just the Pro controller, and I think that's why I want to kind of play it on Xbox with the Xbox controller to see if I get that same feel. But yeah, it's man, that's uh the even the second to last boss fight
Mm,
and everything. That
yeah,
really had, to me personally, that really had the Nintendo influence in that game. Right there was that
hmm
boss design because I was just like, oh, it's kind of free roaming. You are paying attention. It kind of has the three pattern thing, but this feels like a Nintendo boss fight.
hmm.
You know,
Yeah, yeah,
so
man, Death's Door. It's so
it's
good.
it's
I
yeah, I know I missed it when it came to Xbox, and yes, when it came to Switch, I brought it, and it took me a while to like play it. But just like you, Corey, I think it's one of those games you have to sit down and really commit to
yeah,
understand what that game is about.
especially like the first couple of hours, right? I think you need to set
Yeah,
Like, I did end up playing it in spurts after the first day, like the first couple sittings, right? Like the first like 2 nights I played it, I think I played it for like 2 or 3 hours at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, because at first I was like, oh man, this is one of these games, right? Like, that's what I felt like. I was like, oh no. But then I like sat down and committed. I'm like, you know what? Everybody says this game is amazing, and I know how I know how video games work. I've been playing them for 35 years. Like, movement gets faster, you get more powerful, you get new weapons, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I powered through like I would say the first hour and a half I powered through, and then it just clicked, right? It
Yes.
just clicked. Like after that first kind of, I guess it would be like a mini boss, right? Kind of at the top of the stairs there before you meet the crow and see Death's Door for the first time, right? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
I get it. And then you go into like the witch's kind of the house over to the left, right? And you go into the house and you solve all the puzzles, and then you go down into her dungeon. And like once you get into like the first real dungeony style part of the game, you get
Mm-hmm.
it. Like it clicks with you, you get it. And it's just amazing. It's I don't know how many more times I can say it's one of the best games I've ever played. So play it. It's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. Also on my trip, I was like, man, I still want some sort of Zelda experience. I don't want to play Skyward Sword. uh, so, clarification. I don't want to play Skyward Sword in handheld mode. I want to play it on TV. But I'm like,
Yes.
you know what I do want to play? And I didn't finish the first time around. I got like 3 or 4 dungeons in. Is Link's Awakening.
Yes.
I am on the 6th dungeon. I just got to the 6th dungeon. Dude, I've been plowing through this game, and turns out when you when you have 10 days of no podcasting and 2 7-hour car rides and 2 to 3 hours a night to play games when your kids go to bed, turns out you can accomplish a lot. I have 2 guides open, one from GameFAQs and one from Zelda Dungeon, and like the Zelda Dungeon one's kind of weird because it uses some of the screenshots from the Switch version, but it's telling you the game like you're playing the Game Boy version.
Yes.
So like sometimes it's like go left 2 screens, and I'm like, there's no screens, you just walk, So I had to open a GameFAQs guide to like, man, GameFAQs still around, man. More power to them.
Dude, and I love how thorough they are on GameFAQs.
Oh yeah, and I mean the one on Zelda Dungeon's pretty thorough too. It's just like when they're giving you directions, it's just hard to kind of figure it out because they're giving you Game Boy directions when I'm playing the Switch version.
Yes.
I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but it's just one of those things where like, oh, I'm gonna open another guide just to see what they say, so I don't screw it up. I am following the 100% guide. I'm using it all the way through. This game is so charming, but I don't know how you play some of this, like do some of this stuff without a guide. I don't understand how people play. Like, if you were to 100% this, I do not know how you would do it without a guide. This is so incredibly 90s to a fault, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to the point where like defeating every enemy in a dungeon room will give you a key or something, right? Or something that you need. And it's like, because like the first time I played it, I'm like, what am I missing? Because like there was this hallway where there's 2 enemies, and I just walked by them to go into the door on the other side, and I was missing a key. I'm like, what do I do? And then like I had to open a guide. And it turns out I had to knock both these enemies. I had to kill both these enemies to get the key in this hallway, this random hallway. I'm like, really? Come on. But man, dude, that when that game was revealed, remember like how just adorable it was, and just playing through the game
Yes.
right now is like, man, this game is something that I really needed. It's so fun.
Because you never beat the Game Boy version.
No,
right? The original one.
So I love the Game Boy version, but I also played it when I was like 4 or 5, right? And I had no idea,
okay.
right? Like I didn't even look. I always say it was my first Zelda game, but like I never got out of the mysterious forest, or like I would go down and get the sword and kill enemies. Like it was before I knew what a Zelda game was, and like there were dungeons that you had to go do and stuff. And so like
Uh-huh.
I would like go to the mysterious forest and carry the chain chomp dog around, and like, oh, this is the game. I'm just gonna go kill some enemies over here. Blup, blup, blup. I'm 5. I'm done. I'm gonna go play Tetris. Which it's the only Game Boy game that I have complete in box is Link's Awakening. It's the Game Boy Color version, but
Still counts.
it's cool. Oh, I also have Super Mario Land complete in box, I guess, but
Yes.
which I thought about getting rid of because that game sucks.
No.
Dude, Super Mario Land sucks. The first one sucks. I hate that game. I hate that game so
I
much.
mean, it's
Dude, he goes to Egypt and fights sphinxes with bombs. It's not a Mario game.
It's questionable content.
He drives a submarine and fights a claw monster. Okay.
It's questionable content. I will give you that. But
6 golden coins is so much better.
Yes, that I agree. It's just that Super Mario Land is such a classic, and I think when the popularity of that game becomes well known, like people really want to go back and play it, unless Nintendo remakes that one. Or I can see that happening. I think it's something to hold on to until you just like, okay, I really need to get rid of this. Who is going to give me a good deal for it? Because Super Mario Land it's a one of a kind, in a sense. Yes, Super Mario. I love 6 golden coins. Like that is one of my favorite all time games.
But yeah, I mean, like I didn't realize there's so much to this game. I've probably put like 12 to 15 hours in, and I still have 3 dungeons to go. I'm still doing the trading quest, which is hilarious sometimes.
It's half of the game itself.
Yeah, I forgot how much of, and then like there's that dumb, what's his name, Dampy, the guy where you have to like create your own dungeons to get heart pieces and stuff, which is I'm gonna 100% this game. It's my goal is to 100% this game. But if I have to build another stupid dungeon for a heart piece, I'm gonna cry. That's the worst part of the game for me by far. And I know people want like a Zelda Maker or a Zelda Dungeon Maker or whatever. This isn't it. Sorry, guys. But yeah, Link's Awakening, super cool. Dude, the hookshot makes everything so much better, and like the flippers and stuff. Where like I love that they changed the power ring to you just wear it when you don't have to equip it, and the flippers you don't have to equip. You can just swim now, like once you get them. I also chose the blue tunic there's like this one part where you get to choose, do you want more power or more defense? I chose more defense, so I got the blue tunic, and I'm like, yeah, blue. So yeah, I've been doing that, and then I played all the Mario Kart DLC, which Wave 2 is way better than Wave 1. Although I went back and played Wave 1 and realized it's not as bad as I thought it was. It's just that like 50cc sucks to play on because you're so slow, and it's just like, oh, come on. I just want to go fast and get this over with, and 50cc is not great. So, but I went through that and got gold cups on everything. I think Mario Kart 8 is the best Mario Kart. No one's ever going to convince me otherwise. I don't know what they do with Mario Kart from here, except for, you put out a product and then you do with the next Mario Kart what you're doing with Mario Kart 2, or where you have you could do a Fortnite style battle pass and get costumes and cool carts, and it's all cosmetic stuff, right? But like, you don't need 4 different versions of Mario, right? There's 4 different versions of Mario in Mario Kart 8. Just make it one Mario, and then like, oh, I unlocked Tanuki Mario in the Fall Crazy Critter Battle Pass or whatever, I mean, there's Tanuki Mario, there's Mario, there's Cat Mario, and then there's Metal Mario. Why do this all need to be this? Why can't they all be the same Mario? There's not 9 different Yoshis. You just pick the
Yeah.
color Yoshi you want and then you drive. Anyways, sorry, that was my Mario Kart rant for the day. Played a lot of Tetris Effect too.
Oh,
I had to keep the music down though because my kids were sleeping and I forgot my wired headphones. So, but it's still Tetris. I played that, and then 2 games on my list that I didn't list here. I played MLB The Show because it was that free trial for a while. I played that, and it runs surprisingly well on Switch. It's not the best, and definitely not the best looking game, but it was fun. I think I had my fill in the 3 or 4 games that I played on the free trial, so thanks Nintendo for letting me get my fill. And I also played NBA 2K22, Ed. I'm getting the itch to play. I want a sports game to play. I think I'm going to get 23 when it comes out, and it comes out the same day as Splatoon 3. And I know it's going to be on sale like a month later, so I'm going to wait for that, but I'm going to get 2K23, I think. I'm itching for a sports game, and Madden is terrible. And it's not on Switch, so 2K, you're the winner.
Madden reviews haven't dropped yet, right?
I have no idea. I stopped paying attention to Madden a long time ago.
Because I know it's supposed to come out this week.
Yeah. I think, well, they showed some gameplay. They had some gameplay stuff today. They showed some of that off. I think the embargo is on Wednesday for Madden.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of, that's what I played. I played a little bit of Tony Hawk 1 and 2 also. The Switch version is cool. But I didn't play enough to like really talk about it. But Tony Hawk's great. I love it. I'm so like, man, I know we're super off topic, but like, it's amazing that like when people put a little bit of work into these third-party games. I know we talked about this. We had a whole expansion pass about it, but like, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is so good. Like they put so much work into into the Switch port. Like I gotta give it to Activision really in their Switch ports of these games. Like Spyro is great, Crash is great, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is great, Crash Team Racing is great. Like all of the games that Activision has put on the Switch have been top-notch ports. And I know we criticize Activision a lot on this show sometimes, especially like with what's going on. But like Overwatch is good and Diablo is killing it. Like Activision Blizzard games on the Switch are awesome. Like they're so fun.
Yes, and I think when we had a discussion on our expansion pass about selected third party and stuff, and yeah, I was getting on Activision because it was just like, it's great that you announce these games for Switch, but why do our version get delayed? Why are we still getting these versions late?
It's because the Switch is hard to port down to. I mean, I don't want to have this discussion again because we have a lot to get through. But like,
yes.
It's just like, I understand, and I know a lot of Switch fans have a hard time understanding that like game development is hard, and the Switch runs on technically mobile hardware, and you're trying to port it down and make it work on this. Everything's developed for the x86 architecture of the Xbox and the PlayStation, and like super powered RAM and whatever else, all these other technical words that I don't really understand because I'm an invalid and I don't understand any of these words. But you're pointing down to a console that's like hardly an Xbox One base, at its best. And I don't know, man. I'm just impressed with a lot of these games. And I mean, Sega does a lot of great work too, but like I'm talking about like Western developers. You know, I re-downloaded Doom because I think I want to play through. I want to at least do some videos for the YouTube channel to try to draw some attention to it, to the YouTube channel. And I just want to play some of these third-party games and highlight some of the best ones. And I think Activision and Bethesda are the best third parties on the Switch. You know, there's so many great games, and I don't know. I'm not one of these people that needs to play Doom at 8K and 120 frames a second and fry my entire system. Right? I don't know. There's something about these games that are just novel and fun and impressive, and it's fun to see them on on this console is all.
Yeah.
Sorry about my other rant.
No.
Too many rants today.
I think with me, with Winchester, and I won't, because I want to get ready to talk about Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It's just that if I think it's like when the games get announced in the Switch version or Nintendo version always get delayed. You know, my thing has always been, okay, if you're going to delay it, really put in some work to make sure that this version is good enough to come out, because I don't feel like we get the fair treatment with some of the games, even when that happened on like Wii U, and we just hope that we get the fair treatment on Switch. So if it's going to be delayed or it's going to come out a year later, whether you're downporting or building it up, like make sure that you really are putting in some work for this. Because that's just only fair to the people who are willing to buy the game on that platform, you know. So but that's cool. Now Xenoblade Chronicles 3, it's been the hotness for ever since the game was released.
I know, I want to play it, but I have like a list of games that I want to finish before I play Xenoblade, you know?
Completely understand. The game outside of the soundtrack, because we all been talking about the soundtrack and everything, this story is probably one of the best cinematic driven stories that Nintendo has ever had. Like, Monolith Soft, we know they do great games. Like, I'm not going to deny that. The twists and turns that this game have, even with the side quests, you'd be like, oh wow, you get to learn more about the colonies that you visit, the people that you interact, the seventh character that you come across that would join your party, the way that you're learning their abilities and stuff. And the cutscenes, do yes, there are some 45-45 minute cutscenes for this game. It's a JRPG. Get used to it. It happens in some of other action games, so just get used to it. You literally, when you watch one of the cutscenes and you put the controller down, you're putting it down because you're invested in the story. Like this game, before you even get to some of the next chapters, the side quests is what really make this game, and it's easier to obtain those side quests and everything to do. The grinding is not too hard, and it sucks that people cannot talk about this game with this story because you don't want to ruin it for anybody. Like at this point in time, no one really has beaten the game that I know of. I know people are streaming it, but there hasn't really been no one who has beaten it, or even when chapters cut to people get through some of the chapters there, I haven't hit it at anything, but my jaw has been on the floor with what I have been witnessing throughout the chapters. I just got to chapter 5, and I feel like, am I at the halfway point of this game because it's getting insane. Um, and so, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I gotta say, it really earns its spot for a game of the year. And the classes that you learn, I think a lot of people are switching up. I've been switching up the classes for a lot of my characters, and I think I have got it to a point where if I progress to the main story, I'm gonna switch everybody back to their regular classes. But if I'm doing side quests, I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna use different classes for my characters so they could build that class up and everything. And there's so many side quests that, man, it's really just intriguing on how big these worlds are in film, and it looks beautiful. Like the game runs great. There's not I didn't really have that much slowdown or anything. Um, but yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, if you are into big JRPGs, or you want to know what the big game is at this point time and moment, it is Xenoblade Chronicles 3, because people are still playing and posting some videos of it, but they're still talking about it and everything. Um, yeah, so then with that being said, played some to break up my time with Xenoblade. I've been playing the Aliens Fire Team Elite on Xbox so that I could just like get my characters up. And I've been playing like on a harder difficulty and everything. Which is fine. Nothing too challenging that I haven't played with that or anything. But it's really just like those two games that I played. Because I know like you had a lot to play, Corey. So I kind of just like fell back on games to play, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 has been like hooking me.
Yeah, I mean,
With this.
it's something that we've both been looking forward to, and I still am. I wish we had more Xenoblade coverage on this show because it's a big
Yeah.
game. It's a wonderful looking game from everything from like, everybody who's been playing it on Twitter and stuff has been just talking about it nonstop, and I wish I wish I was playing it. I want to finish. I want to finish Link's Awakening. I want to finish Fire Emblem Warriors, and I finished Death's Door, so that's a check mark off my list. And yeah, and then I want to beat Metroid Dread, and then I'll get into Xenoblade.
Mm-hmm.
So because like I'm gonna beat Link's Awakening, I'm gonna finish Metroid, and then I'm gonna play Fire Emblem, and then I'll play Xenoblade. Not that I'm not like looking forward to Splatoon 3. It's just not like it's not one of the games that I'm like super looking forward to. You know? I
Yes.
mean, I'll play it because it looks cool, but it's not like I've got to get it day one, even though I will. But you know what I mean.
Same.
You know what I'm saying.
Yes. I will say, so everybody, the Deal Field Chronicle demo, I have not tried yet. I do have
Everybody
it.
says it sucks. Everybody says it's so boring and just obtuse and not enough of what it's trying to do.
For the demo. Oh, yeah.
And I mean, the demo is substantial. I heard it's like a 4 to 5 hour demo.
Mm-hmm.
So you like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to play it for 4 or 5 hours. Like, you should be able to tell if you like a game after 4 or 5 hours, right? I mean,
Yes.
I'm assuming, I hope so. And I was like, man, I was really looking forward to that game too. I'm like, man, this game looks cool. And I'm like, nah. I watched some stuff on it, and I didn't play the demo yet. I downloaded it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I have so many strategy games on here already. Tactics Ogre is going to be 100 times better. Fell Seal is better. Like Fire Emblem's better. Triangle Strategy, I'm sure, is better. I just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a cool looking experiment because it's like a mix of real time and real time strategy with like, traditional strategy RPG. But like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I want it. I don't know.
I think it's gonna be one of the games that people still buy on Switch and
Yeah, they're gonna
just make
buy
it
it
part
because
of
it
their
matches the
backbone.
box art of Bravely Default and Triangle Strategy and Octopath. It
Oh
has like
yeah.
the font and everything, just the cool art. Like the box art is cool though. Like all those games have really cool box art. You know,
Yes.
I think they're all done by the same person actually. But like, I don't know. I mean, I was excited for Triangle Strategy too, and it just didn't do it for me. I wanted it to. I really did, and maybe I'll give it another shot later down the road. But like, there's too much talking. I just wanted to play, like it was one of those things where like when there's a lot of talking in games, it kind of turns me off at this point because like I don't have a lot of time and I don't want to spend 30 minutes of my hour to myself listening to people talk. I just want to do the thing.
Yeah. I understand. I do understand. Uh, well, everybody, that's what I've been playing. I'll probably have more to talk about. With Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I probably would jump in. I'll probably talk about more of the first chapter and everything. But Corey, we got some things to show and tell. Well, actually, you do. Uh,
I
so,
do.
uh, what do you have for us?
So I have a couple more physical games. I got Darksiders 3, another hidden gem I feel like on any platform.
Switch. I
Although
will say,
I heard the Switch version isn't very good, but we'll see.
I I think you probably got a rare version because I cannot find that game on Switch anywhere.
Dude, it's like $15 on Amazon.
I'm talking. Well, Friday Amazon then
I
is the
know that you
only.
have a big problem with Amazon because they don't always give you your things, but anyways, I got Metroid Dread as well physically. But Ed,
Yeah.
the big thing I got Ed this week.
Hold on. Before you get to that, I thought you had Metroid Dread. Is did you buy it digitally and now physically?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I thought you bought it physically
Spoilers, Ed.
first.
All the games I have physically, I also have digitally. I know that
Ah,
sounds
gotcha.
insane, and guess what? It is, but I do have it digitally and physically. I just like
Yes.
the way the boxes line up on the shelf. They just look really cool. But I hate opening the stupid cartridge slot on the Switch, especially the OLED because it gets stuck.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Ed, the big thing I got this week was the Smash Pad adapter for Switch, the GameCube adapter,
Yes.
because turns out these things are really hard to find. And so I got one, an official one. It says Nintendo right on the thing. See everybody? Nintendo.
Ooh.
I think it's upside down on the camera, but that's okay. You get the point. Uh Now finding the controllers on the other hand, I have 4 GameCube controllers, but they're 20 years old at this point, you know, except for my white one, which is I got it for my Wii U when that Smash adapter came out.
Hmm.
I have a white GameCube controller. Now there is a difference, right? The GameCube ones say GameCube on them, and the Smash pads don't say GameCube on them. They have the Smash logo in the middle. Just want to
Yes.
clarify. I do not have any Smash pads. I have a white GameCube controller, and it is cool. It's so cool. I didn't even know they existed. I have one,
Yes.
but I'm gonna find some. You can import them. They're $50. I'm just gonna get a couple at some point when I have some money to spend. Uh, so, yeah, those are my pickups this weekend. Super fun.
Yes.
Super fun. Bow, bow, bow.
All right, Corey. I feel like this every time I introduce these segments and turn it back to you, it's just like, yeah. Everybody, time for Family News.
Yeah, so
Corey,
I'm just gonna
take it away.
we're just gonna kind of go through these and just kind of, I don't know, not blow through them, but we have a lot of questions that we want to get to. Maybe we'll save some questions for an expansion pass later down the road. I don't know. Uh, I know we're saving docked mode for an expansion pass, but
Yes.
so we didn't. Of course, Nintendo dropped a direct during summer vacation, Boss Rush summer vacation. So last week, Nintendo gave us a deep dive into Splatoon 3 and its own game-specific Nintendo Direct. The Direct showed off returning modes and levels that, as well as a new 3-team Turf Wars mode, cool new weapons and abilities, special weapons like the Reef Slider, which is that exploding shark, which is super cool, and like that weird refrigerator that pops out energy drinks that you can drink that increases your
Yeah.
speed or your strength or whatever. And a cool new photo mode. New amiibo were also shown off, including a yellow inkling, a purple octoling, and a small fry riding a wave. I think it's a 3-pack this time around. I don't know if they're going to do them individually. I want the yellow inkling really bad. The yellow like that pose and that, super cool. There also seems to be some sort of experience system that goes beyond a player level, allowing for more customization for players. Splatoon comes out on what is it? The September 7th? 9th. September 9th?
Yeah.
It looks cool. I mean, it kind of looks like more of the same. I'm more interested in the campaign than the multiplayer, even though the multiplayer is always fun. Three-team Turf Wars is going to create some interesting splat fests.
I sent out a tweet, and we'll probably have to get like 2 more people, but I sent out a tweet challenging Nintendo May and Nintendo Pals.
Yeah, that'd be a
just
cool
like,
stream.
yeah, like we all get together, team up and play. And I invited Grayson also. We're like, okay, Grayson, come and join.
Grayson's going to be on our team because.
Yeah.
Sorry, he's going to be on our team, guys.
Because that 3 turf war, it'd be so cool to have, like us get together, and definitely I think that's going to be a really big one when they do tournaments and stuff. I think that's going to be interesting, the one to watch. But all of us get together and just have a Splatfest or a turf war, trio turf war, and just see who is going to dominate, like who's going to be really good at it, and like you said, Corey, stream it and just hang out with other podcasters and really talk about Nintendo and the series and stuff. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, no, totally would be cool. They also outlined a DLC plan. They're going to be 2 years of regular support, along with probably some DLC. I was a little bit confused. Is there monetized like emotes and stuff that you can buy in this game? I saw like there's like a catalog, but I couldn't tell if it was in-game currency or like real money.
It would be in-game currency because I think the last time they did anything like that, even on Splatoon 2, was like that big DLC pack, where I think was like $40 or $20-some or $24.
The Octolings DLC was $25, I think.
25. I think that's the only time that they had something for you to pay. They never did any kind of monetization for it. So I think if you do anything, I think it's matches that you gotta win or playing the single player.
Yeah. So it's coming. Splatoon's here. It's gonna be here before we know it.
Yes.
You know what's not gonna be here before we know it, Ed?
This one. Oh goodness. I'm
so upset.
I want to hear your thoughts. Corey, get into the news.
I'm so upset about this one, guys. I gotta be honest with you. I'm not surprised that it got delayed. This past week, Avalanche and WB Games announced that its highly anticipated Wizarding World game Hogwarts Legacy has been delayed. While the Xbox and PlayStation version received a new release date of February 10th, the Switch version is not coming on the same day, as the studio simply stated that, quote, the Nintendo Switch launch date will be revealed soon. This isn't the first time a third-party game has had a separate release date from its counterparts, though. This was one many were looking to rid the stigma. Hogwarts Legacy was announced in September of 2020 during a PlayStation State of Play, and was originally due out in 2021 before being delayed to Q4 2022 and now Q1 of 2023, along with so many other games. Dude, Q1 is just going to be a hot mess. Yeah, I'm really disappointed that Hogwarts Legacy got delayed. It was my most anticipated game this year. It's not that I'm like a huge Harry Potter fan or anything either. Like I mean, I love Harry Potter. I think it's great. My wife's a bigger fan than I am. But there's something about the world that you just kind of want to be in and explore and learn the spells and go to the school and go on adventures with your friends or not friends or fake friends or whatever is happening with this game, because I still don't really know if this is like a co-op experience or not. And the fact that it was coming to Switch, I was like, oh man, this is going to be so cool. Even if it's like not as good looking or whatever, I just, I was going to take the bullet for the team and like play it on Switch and kind of report back on it. I'm really upset that this game got delayed.
So I think the thing is, I don't even think they started on a Switch version.
No, they did. Stop.
I don't think so.
They wouldn't have announced it if they didn't start a Switch version, Ed. That's just dumb.
That at this point in time, that doesn't mean nothing. They could announce a game is coming to Switch, and that Switch version always get pushed back. Look at Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal the Switch version was supposed to drop with PlayStation and Xbox, and they delayed that game until the original version was finished. And then the one porting company, not Bluepoint, the one porting company came in after that game was finished and had to use the next 6 to 8 months getting that game together to port to the Nintendo Switch.
Well, yeah, it's a huge game.
Right, but the Switch version was announced, and that game was supposed to drop with the other two. And the Switch version got delayed so they could finish the Xbox and PlayStation version before they even started any work on that game.
That's not true. Panic Button was working on other projects, and they got overwhelmed, and they needed time, which was fine because it was cheap when I got it with all the DLC. It was $23, and it's great.
Of course. Yeah, but the thing about it was the fact that they said that the game was going to be released with the other two until the delay hit.
I mean, that was their intention, and I believe that was their intention until Panic Button was a hot commodity. They did like 3 or 4 projects.
Yeah, and the Panic Button was working with Bethesda on Doom Eternal, getting it ready for the Switch. The thing about it is that when that delay hit for all 3 platforms, Nintendo got the end of the stick that it was going to be a longer delay. So it really felt like they was really pushing to finish and polish the Xbox and PlayStation version, and Nintendo was just going to have to take the hit for it being delayed instead of all the 3 getting polished.
That's fine. I don't know why that's such a big deal.
Because I feel like that's the same thing that's happening with Hogwarts Legacy. Is that this game is definitely going to be catering to Xbox and PlayStation, and I feel
because those are the easier platforms to develop for. But it's not a secret.
But my thing is that why can't, if this game is going to get delayed, push all 3 versions back? Why do they need to push them all back? Because it's the same thing. It just feels like the Nintendo version always get the end of the stick instead of being fairly treated like the other games.
Would you rather come out with the other ones and be bad, and then everybody's like, "Oh, why do they even bother?" No, I don't care. No, why? That's terrible.
Because the thing
That's
about
an
it
awful
is,
way to look at this, because then you're
well,
never going to get third-party games on the Switch
but the thing,
ever.
but the thing about it is that if you're going to announce this version for Switch with the other platforms, and if you're going to announce the game with the other platforms, Nintendo shouldn't get the end of the Switch. If Nintendo gets delayed, everything needs to be delayed, in
No,
my opinion.
well, I
Because the thing
strongly
about
disagree with you.
because what happens if your game still comes out as being and it's bad or it's not patched? I would rather you make sure that the bugs and everything is good to go, so that when all three platform versions come out, if people want to get the Xbox or PlayStation or even the Switch version, that most of that stuff is handled and everything. Don't wait to put the game out. It's bad, and then over time, it's got to get all the patches. And then when the Switch version comes out, the Switch version might get delayed, and it's still bad, even though you got the patches out for everything else. Like,
I don't know. I think
I
this
guess
game's
that's
going to
just
sell way more units on Xbox and PlayStation if that's where they're going to focus. Then get those versions out first, and then you can concentrate more time on the Switch version.
it's
I'm
gonna be too late.
No, it's not. People don't buy everything on day one. This game is going to have such a long tail because it has the word Hogwarts and Harry Potter on the box. It's just like Star Wars. It's just like Marvel. People are going to
Hmm.
buy this game 5 years from now and still enjoy the crap out of it. People don't
But
people don't buy games like we do, Ed. People don't buy everything on day one. They don't buy multiple versions of games to try them out on different platforms to see how they run. This
but
game,
then do
this Harry Potter is like it's one of the biggest universes in the on the planet.
but but then if there's other games that's gonna crush this game, I don't want to hear a news story from them saying that, oh, it didn't sell well on Switch. Well, you delayed it. You
Well,
didn't.
that
You
it this is I don't know. I think it's fine. I think the thing that hurts the most is that it's not coming out this year because I was really looking forward to this game. But
I feel like this game is not coming out to 25 for
what?
Switch.
No, that's
24. Sorry, 24,
no,
not
that's
25. Sorry.
no. It'll be out next summer for Switch.
Dying Light's supposed to have been out in the first Switch, Dying Light 2, and it's not out
It's
yet.
the cloud version. The developer is in the middle of a war zone right now. I don't blame them for that. Uh, anyways, you don't like this Hogwarts thing. You're definitely not going to like this next one, Ed. Oh man.
I I don't think it's not so much of not liking it. I think it's so much like no one cares now at this point in time.
Speaking of games that have been delayed, Firaxis announced that its Marvel card-based strategy game Midnight Suns will not be hitting its targeted release date. In a tweet on August 8th, the team announced that there will now be a staggered release date sometime next year with a focus on the Xbox Series and PlayStation 5 versions first, and the previous generations and Switch versions to follow later. Many have speculated that Firaxis is listening to fans, will say less than enthusiastic response to the card-based system and maybe reworking the combat in some way. Firaxis is most notably known for its XCOM Revival and Civilization franchise, both of which are available on Switch in some capacity. Yeah, card-based system, pass. That was hard pass. Hard pass. And I know every time I say this, people reply to I say I will not play your game if there are cards in it. And
I,
and I stop tweeting about card-based games because everybody's like, "Why don't you like card-based games?" I don't know. Why don't you like RPGs? Why don't you like first-person shooters? I don't know. It's just not my thing, right? Like if this was just Marvel XCOM, I would be all over it. Wolverine, Daredevil, Punisher, Spider-Man, super awesome. I'm super into this idea. The new character looks cool. Cards out, done. Zero interest.
so I think it would have been fine with card based if we actually seen what the game is about.
Oh, I know.
I
There's
still,
like
I,
little to no gameplay of this game anywhere.
so
I mean,
so
there is
my
if you look, people have played it and like tested it out and stuff, but like from everything I've heard, like this card based system that they're using is like really hurting the game. You
Is it
know,
complicated or is it just
people
like
just like I think card based strategy games are like a niche kind of thing, right? Where like, what Slay the Spire? Okay, that's a cool, interesting game. People like that, but like this is for Axis. People want like a real XCOM style strategy game with
mm,
Marvel characters in it. I think that sounds really cool. And when you introduce cards into a system like that, that's already kind of like semi complicated to learn. I mean, not that XCOM is like super complicated, but it takes a lot of thinking. And I mean, it's a strategy
strategy?
game, right? I mean, it's a freaking strategy game.
And so I don't know if they took a look of. I think when it comes to card-based games, people might think of like Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon. But even like Voice of Cards is a good example. To me personally, Voice of Cards is a good example on how a card-based game should be used in an RPG setting.
Yeah, but it's like
Um,
that is a card game, right? Like it is a
yes,
card game. This is this I think this is kind of pitched as a strategy game, kind of like XCOM with a card-based battle system, which nobody wants. Either pick a lane, either be a card
hmm
game or be a strategy game. You don't I just I've heard a lot of people say that they just aren't interested in the card system, and I agree. I'm not interested in this game with a card system, and that's fine. I'm not the audience for this game. But when your box has Marvel on the title, they're expecting to sell millions of units, right? And
yes.
if they have a mechanic that is very niche in it, it's not going to sell, you know?
Why would you put a universe that's so action packed, that's so melee or range based, that's so um that when you're watching the action, you're actually invested in. If you do this card battle system, you gotta like what mutant is using a card to besides Gambit, but he used that for attacks and everything in his staff. It ruins the flow of having that action
Yeah, and like
and stuff.
and I feel like you should be able to do like a skill tree with like, okay, well, you want Wolverine to be a tank, well, you want his healing ability to be leveled up, and you want, some of his, maybe you don't put a lot of power into him, but you make him go, you put him ahead of everybody because he can take a lot of damage, right? And I don't know, I feel like the card, I'm not opposed to card based games, right? They're just not for me, but I'm not opposed to them existing, right? Like that's just stupid. But like in a game like this with characters who are so action heavy, the card based mechanic I think is a big mistake.
So I will say this. Um if Mario and Rabbits were supposed to do something similar like to this, hold on. Everybody don't get upset. This is hypothetical.
Everybody's already
If
upset, Ed. It's the internet.
if if Nintendo and Ubisoft were able to do a XCOM style game with cars in the Mario Rabbids universe and they were able to get it right, then I could understand Fire Access taking a look at that, borrowing or not so much copying, but getting a idea that, oh, so they did the same system, but it works. It's something about it. We should play this game and understand what did they get right for that game to work. Then I will understand them implementing that in this game because I feel like Nintendo is smart. They could figure something out with a card based system. That's just my opinion. But for something like this, I agree that maybe it's because it's two different styles. XCOM, you really need to think in where you're going to be at and place your character and how you're going to get around to do in order to win those battles. And a card-based chess doesn't work with that system. Like I said, it ruins the flow. With this delay happening, I think it's to a point that because there's nothing really out there to really be upset for or really looking forward to, it's gotten to a point where I feel like people just don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And regardless of this game get delayed or canceled or it actually they start showing something to interest people, I think it's really too late for any of that to happen. You put out too many delays before a game that really no one knows about. And because of that happening, the interest there's no interest.
Mm-hmm.
There really is no interest. If another game comes out that is card based and that's doing something and show us how it works, and it's really interesting that people are willing to try it out of curiosity, that's going to stay on people's radar than anything this game is going to be doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if the and oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think Marvel is so big and Disney wants, obviously, like with the Disney just announced a Disney plus Marvel gaming showcase this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if Star Wars is going to be involved and if it's just like Disney and Marvel. Hopefully that Epic Mickey collection is announced because I'm like, that rumor has been floating around and I'm really excited. But like, I just feel like Marvel and Disney want more than just, a million seller. I think they want to sell 5, 6, 7, 8 million copies of a game, right? Like Guardians of the Galaxy sold what? I think they an estimated like 4 million units, 3 million units or something like that. And I Square, whatever, they think every game is a disappointment. But I think that maybe Marvel and Disney viewed that as a small disappointment because, they want more. And Guardians of the Galaxy is an amazing game. I think Guardians of the Galaxy is an amazing game.
I agree.
It was like it was my third favorite game last year. I think I would argue it's probably my second favorite game now because like I was really excited. I guess we can talk about it later, but I really think that Marvel's looking for more, and obviously Avengers didn't do it for them, but Spider-Man did awesome for them, and
it's one of those things that I think with Marvel is we made big numbers in the film department. Why is that not resonating into the video game department?
Well, I think they hit it out of the park right out of the gate with Spider-Man on PS4, right? And then they did really well with Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say what you want about the quality, like how good that game was or not, but like that game sold really well. Especially for being a Switch exclusive, 2 years in, like that game sold really well for them. I think people were just really excited for another Marvel Ultimate Alliance because those first two games are considered really, especially the first one, like a really great game.
The thing with Spider-Man, and I've always, I guess, argued or discussed this with people, that I feel like Spider-Man really didn't get its due until Insomniac got their hands on it. And now Insomniac is a very talented developer. Don't forget, Spider-Man has been out with Activision, I believe since the GameCube PS2 days or whatever.
Yeah,
or the film.
X-Men Legends, another great series I wish would come back, but which was like the pseudo prequels to Ultimate Alliance, and yeah, I mean Activision has been doing Spider-Man since PS1 because Neversoft did the Spider-Man PS1 game that everybody loves.
Okay. Yeah, so like for Spider-Man itself, like I guess the game sold well enough, or they were like very average, and people really didn't take notice of Spider-Man as a video game until Insomniac. So it really depends on the developer, I think. And kudos to Insomniac. I love Insomniac. I enjoy their games. Sometimes it gets questionable, but they're very talented and they did a great job with Spider-Man. And that's why I say think I think just with this Marvel's Midnight Sun, nothing against Fire Axe or anything. I'm glad that they're laying it to think about reworking the combat. That's fine, but I think people are just are losing not patience, are losing interest because they don't know what they'll be getting into. So if they ever reveal what the game is truly about, like do a big breakdown, it has to knock it out the park, or people are just not going to care. And I think with this one, I'm not really worried about it coming to the other generations and Switch late, compared to what Hogwarts is. And the reason being is because we just don't know much about Marvel Midnights compared to what we have seen with Hogwarts in the
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think they're gonna do anything with the card system. Unfortunately, I think they're just trying to figure out how to make it work within the
hmm
game, which is unfortunate for people like me. But that's okay. Somebody will like it, and good for you. A game that is coming out this year, though, Ed, Tactics Ogre Reborn has officially been revealed, and it's coming to Switch. It's coming this year. Uh, it is highly anticipated revival of the classic strategy RPG Tactics Ogre, simply titled Tactics Ogre Reborn. The game is set to release on November 11th, and it is an updated port of the PSP version, Let Us Cling Together. This is the third strategy RPG set to release from Square Enix this year, starting with Triangle Strategy earlier this year, with Deofield Chronicles set for September. The original game released on Super Nintendo in 1995.
yeah,
And
because that
then wasn't
PlayStation,
there Ogre Battle 64, I think was the sequel-ish, sort of?
yes,
Or was it like set in the
yes.
universe? I'm not sure. But man, Ed, I'm excited for this. I'm really excited for Tactics Ogre Reborn.
So I struggle with this one, and I
Oh
think
boy,
it's
here it
because
comes.
I think it's because I never played it on the Super Nintendo. I wasn't into strategy games, and Blockbuster and them just didn't have a copy of this game. Uh, I don't know. It's not doing anything for me right now, but I think it's one of those games that it's on pre-order. I'm going to pre-order on Best Buy, and then I'm going to drive up there, skip to my Lou into the store, pick up my copy, and then skip on out, and then be like, "Yay, I'm playing the game with everybody else." But I think it's just I'm not wild or excited for this, but it's one of those games that I will buy it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it. I'm excited, and I know the Tactics Ogre is better than Triangle Strategy, from what I played of Triangle Strategy, and so
hmm
I don't know. I've had this really weird itch of classic game, like retro games or like remastered old games, right? Like Link's Awakening and Tony Hawk and all these games that I loved at some point in my life, and now I'm
hmm
replaying like these nice new versions of them. And get a new version of Tactics Ogre is going to be really fun.
Is it a Square? Was it a SquareSoft game,
It was an
Tetris?
Enix game before they merged,
Okay.
uh, and then and then they merged and they put it out everywhere and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Rest
So
is history.
so I am going to buy it. It's just this. I guess the announcement did nothing for me.
Yeah,
That's the only thing.
that's fine. Uh, so another game that's coming out soon, Kirby's Dream Buffet, has the release date. Second Kirby game is coming out. Is coming to Switch in 2022. You heard correctly. Kirby's Dream Buffet is set to get a digital release on August 17th for $14.99. You and three friends can quote roll, eat, and puyo to become the fattest, happiest Kirby on the block. End quote. There are three mini games set for the game, including a race mode where you dodge obstacles and eat food to make your Kirby bigger. a mode where you compete by eating as many strawberries as possible, and a battle royale mode where you need to knock other players off the board and steal their strawberries to become bigger. There's not much else, but could be a fun time waster with friends. Not interested. Sorry, Kirby.
I think I definitely will pick it up. Maybe at a later date, and definitely I'm gonna look at reviews. Because I think for me personally, I want to play it so I can talk about it on Pop Lock. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that's pretty much it. What else is there to add? Like,
I
yeah,
mean,
it's a
it's
release
another
date.
Kirby game. That's fine. Whatever. People like Kirby, I think,
Yes.
clearly. So, the last news story here we have today, Ed. Just gonna throw this out there. Wave Race 64 was announced literally as we were trying to start the first time. This show. Wave Race 64 is coming to Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. If you have that, you will get this. There's a trailer. You can check the show notes on the website to watch the trailer if you want, or seek it out yourself. I really liked Wave Race when it came out. I really like Blue Storm on the GameCube, but I have not played a Wave Race game in like 20 years, so I can't tell you if it's good or
Oh
not. I
wow.
just remember it being really fun.
So I've never played Ray Race
What?
64.
That surprises
I
me.
was
Wave Race was cool. It was like,
be,
go ahead. Sorry.
oh no, because I was playing the snowboarding game.
Oh, 1080.
Uh
Yeah.
1080. I was playing more of 1080 than a Ray Race. And just it was a game that, not saying that I wasn't interested in it or anything, but like it wasn't in stores a lot. Like if I were trying to go to Target or software, etc., or electronic boutique for some people. It just wasn't there. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if it was like a limited quantity or anything. I just didn't see it or anything. Uh, Plus at that time as a kid, I wasn't like really into sports like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only reason why I didn't play it. But like 1080 was already at my local rental place, so I will always rent the game and play 1080. Enjoy that. So I'm kind of excited to play this one because it would be my first time playing it.
Yes.
Oh, and
Yes.
everybody is August 19th that the game's going to be releasing. So next week,
Oh,
next
did I
Thursday.
mess the date up? I said the 17th. Is it the 19th?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, everybody. You have to wait 2 more days than what I originally said. Sorry. Anyways, back to you, Ed.
All right. Well, Corey, I gotta like throw it back to you because
Oh,
it's
no.
question block.
Oh, question block. Yay. Yeah, so you can ask us questions by tweeting at us at Powblock Podcast. You can look for the thread on Mondays. You can wait till then, or you can tweet at us anytime. It doesn't matter. You can go to the podcast channel in Discord and ask us questions there. Or you can email us at nintendopowblock@gmail.com. We appreciate all of your questions. Celeste writes in. She says, "What is your She asks, "What is your favorite, or what are your favorite cute games on Switch?" What do you define as cute? Like, I don't know.
I think something. I think something like Animal Crossing,
Like
something
Doom,
that makes you happy.
like
Uh,
Wolfenstein,
that's not cute. No, it's something
like
that's like
Monster
kind.
Hunter.
No, that's not cute neither. uh, you know, something like
Street
Garden
Fighter.
Story. No, that's really not cute. Uh, so for me, I kind of said like Yoshi's Crafted World on Switch. Kirby and the Forgotten Lands is a cute one, and Pikmin 3 is a cute one that I think. I know a lot of people want to say like something like Calico because it's a cat game, but I think
Mm.
like from even from an indie perspective, like in bento, which is cats making bento boxes. I think that's cute. Garden Story, which is kind of like an action kind of RPG, but it has a cute style to it. Some people may say Stardew Valley It's a really cute game. Like I mentioned, Animal Crossing it will be one. Just something that looks magical, and I think has more of a casual appeal to it.
Hmm.
It's kind of cute. Chicory would be a cute one, in a sense. Uh, you know what, Corey? I think Captain Toad for you would be a cute one, or Super Mario 3D World would be a cute one.
Oh, I have a list. I have a small
Oh,
list,
okay.
but I was waiting for you to be done.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
That's all.
Corey. I'm sorry.
I was just waiting my turn, Ed. I'm being polite, you jerk.
Yeah.
um, so Super Perils of Baking is a indie platformer that's super cute. You're just a baker and you collect cookies instead of. It's basically like a really fun 2D Mario clone where like you're collecting cookies instead of coins and you're kind of
Mm.
like trying to keep your baker's hat on. It's super cute. It's only $10. It's super fun. Uh, I've been playing it off and on the last couple months. Uh, Hold on, I had a couple more. Excuse me while I find it. I had one. Where is it? Oh no. Oh no. Oh, Donut County is super cute. The raccoon is super funny, and the story is kind of funny, and it's a super cute game. I recommend to anyone. It's real simple. You just kind of like create. It's like you think of Katamari. It gets compared to Katamari a lot,
Hmm.
not because you're rolling a big ball of trash around, but because you're kind of creating this hole to suck everything into it, and it's just really casual and fun. Really, really great game. I'm trying to find some other things here. Um, Ori is cute, but it's sad. Uh, Also, I'm not sure how many people really want to support that developer right now because I guess there's some issues going on over there. Resident Evil. No, just kidding. Really, just kidding. Super Bomberman R is super cute. Uh, I know you're kind of
Yes.
blowing stuff up, but Bomberman's super cute.
Pull your Tetris and one or
Hmm.
two would be cute.
Except for those Puyos. Get them out of here.
Yeah.
Trying to find a super cute game to tell on the show. I guess Celeste, the game, is super cute.
I
Sorry.
don't think so.
Oh, I
I
do.
think
I
that
think
game's.
I like it. The King's Bird is super cute. It's kind of like the same general type of game. Um, yeah. That's kind of what I got for cute games.
Oh, Corey,
Nope.
your very own cute game that you're playing now, Link's Awakening on
Oh
Switch.
yeah, Link's Awakening, super cute. That's adorable.
Yes.
Sorry. Super Meat Boy, also adorable in a super bloody way. The cutscenes are cute in a sadistic kind of way, I guess. Anyways, yeah.
All right.
Oh, I guess I should read the next question. Sorry. Uh, David Wayne Nystrom from our Discord asks if you could trade one first party IP for another publisher developer franchise, what would it be? Kirby. Get that trash out of here. Give me something good. Give me Banjo back. I would trade Kirby
Oh,
for Banjo.
oh, really?
Yeah, dude. Banjo's awesome.
Oh, wow.
And Conquer. Give me Conquer too. I don't
Okay,
care.
so I'm going to get a lot of probably comments on this one.
Oh,
I would
boy.
trade Eternal Darkness for Silent Hill.
Gross. No. What?
Yeah.
You're an awful human. I'm moving
Well,
on.
Dennis Dyack is not there. They're not. I don't know if he's still making games, but like that's it's only been one game for that. And Silent Hill, I feel like Nintendo could do more with Silent Hill. Uh, and maybe actually get Kojima to help them make that game. Uh,
Mhm.
because nothing against Tecmo and Fatal Frame, but I don't think that one is doing it for Nintendo, even though that game had problems. I think Silent Hill, Nintendo could be like, what horror stuff can we bring into, and who in our company could be really to take this IP to the next level and everything. And I think Nintendo could find someone. I mean, not Bloober Team or anybody like that, but I think because of like Miyamoto will be like, hey Miyamoto, get to talking to Hideki and see if he not Hideki. I'm sorry, that's Platinum Games. Kojima, and see what you guys could make, what you guys can create or something. Like man, I just feel like they could do something more with Silent Hill. Nintendo and Silent Hill together, uh, that would be an interesting thing. And just give Konami Eternal Darkness. They're not doing nothing with the Silent Hill franchise. They wouldn't do anything with Eternal Darkness neither. So why not take it? Why not? I think why not have? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say if you say so.
I mean, why not have two of the biggest Japanese? No, not two of the biggest. Two Japanese horror franchises on your platform. You know, at this point in time, Fatal Frame is the only one that Nintendo doesn't own but have stakes in it. I think if they literally own Silent Hill, I think Nintendo would do something with it. Now, PlayStation fans would be upset, but hey, if you want Silent Hill, you know that it could be scary or it could really bring in some new players. Why not give it to Nintendo? I think Nintendo needs an M-rated game directly from them. And I think Silent Hill would do it. Even if they want to make a team, I think some of the I would say some of the new people who are coming to Nintendo, the new generation of directors and everything and producers, I think they could find the idea of we could bring this horror aesthetic to the Silent Hill franchise and really give it that Nintendo quality and push and really scare people about it. So, yeah, I would do that.
Okay. Our next question.
I was about to say, take
Comes.
Eternal Darkness and give Blue Stinger.
Pass. Dan writes in and says, "What's the worst Nintendo controller?" The Wii Remote.
No,
Wii Remote. Gross.
the Power Glove.
No, the Power Glove is cool.
No, the Power Glove does not work.
No, you know what doesn't work? The stupid track mat.
Yes, I agree. I was so there's a how did this get played? Who they just talked about that track meter. Because it used to be from Bandai Namco and Nintendo, I guess, brought it over to it and everything. I remember playing that at my next door neighbor house, and we would play track and field for Konami, trying to run on that thing, and we would tire ourselves out. But I had went with the I think we both are agreement about the trackpad, but like separately, I think the Power Glove it just didn't work for me for a Nintendo controller.
Also, I have a bone to pick with the people who said the Wii Pad was the worst controller.
Oh no.
Have you ever played a Virtual Boy? Okay. That just awful piece of plastic. Also, you had to bend down to play it. Also made it worse.
What would you consider Rob the Robot to be? More of
a companion, assistant, an accessory.
Okay.
So I do have issues with the Wii U gamepad. Like it feels like trash.
I don't.
But
I love the Wii U.
No, I mean in terms of like it feels cheap. Like it feels like you could break it. I also don't like this both sticks up, right, instead of like staggered or down below, right? Like I understand why they did it because like it's easier to make 2D platformers with that in mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can totally do that with the sticks underneath instead of on top like PlayStation does it, which I would have preferred. But I don't think it's a bad controller overall. I wish they just would have changed the design. And I think this, we've talked about it 100 times. I think the Switch is like the perfect, like it's the perfected version of the Wii U gamepad is the Switch.
Yes, I think with the Wii U gamepad, I'm good. I think because I'm so accustomed and good with Nintendo controllers that I don't have no problem with it. Like it really, like I played a lot of the Bayonetta 2 on the gamepad because the controllers felt good with that. Now I played Bayonetta 2 on Switch with the Pro controller. Still enjoyed the game. Couldn't kind of tell the difference which was better, but I think I was just so accustomed to playing on the gamepad a lot. When I've been like when I switched it to the gamepad and something else was on TV, like Netflix on my PlayStation 3 or 4 or whatever. Um, I was playing on the gamepad, it was definitely, and enjoying it on there. So I think it just didn't feel cheap to me. I think it felt light and effective. If you really want something bad, play a PlayStation 4 controller with Destiny 2 and have your wrist hurt
Oh,
from that.
I think the PlayStation 4 controller is a nice controller. I just
Mm,
it hurts my thumbs because of just the way the stick. I don't like the uh sticks on the same. I need staggered sticks. It feels staggered sticks feel way better, but I don't think the PlayStation 4 controller is a bad controller. It's just
I
not comfortable for the things that I like to play. You know.
I couldn't play Destiny. I think if you're doing first party stuff or some third party games on PlayStation with that controller is fine, but I think playing Xbox One controller and
I think
that
the
definitely
X.
with the series.
I think the
Okay,
Xbox. I think the Xbox One controller is the best controller ever made. I mean this the Series controller is good too. Like it's. I
yeah,
mean it's essentially identical, but I think I like the D pad better on the Xbox One controller. Um,
the analog sticks feel good on the Xbox One controller. I think it's so comfortable
mhm.
playing and holding the Xbox
Yeah,
One controller.
Xbox has perfected the control. I think the Xbox controller is the best. The Switch Pro controller is close, but I don't like the D pads on the Pro controllers.
I
Um,
love the D-pad on the Pro controller. I think
I like the D pad on the Xenoblade controller because they changed it, but I also have two launch Pro controllers and they feel like garbage. I only use them when I have to, which is never.
I think it's like I said. I think for us is getting accustomed to that controller because, like I said, like I could not play Destiny 2 on PS4, but when I played Destiny 2, when I did that demo on Xbox, I'm like, oh, okay, you guys perfected this controller because I did not like the controller of the 360. That was painful also. But Xbox One and this now the Series S controller, like you said, they perfected it. It feels really good and really comfortable in my hands. So I think that's why I don't have a problem with like the Joy Cons or the Wii U gamepad, but like something like the Power Glove where I feel like it didn't work. Yeah. But the trackpad, you literally could run by by palming it and stuff, and it just yeah. And then at a point in time, me and my friend, it just stopped working. So we just like, well, we can't really play track and field with this. So
Yeah, I would actually argue the Joy-Con kind of aren't great either. But there's also a better alternative, and this is like I like the big chunky the hoary ones that they first debuted.
yes,
They debuted with Daemon X Machina, I think. Like they were just like the big chunky kind of feels like you're attaching the Pro controller to the Switch. I've wanted to get
yes.
one of those for so long and I just never have because they don't fit in any cases. Uh but yeah, anyways. Our next question. We had a lot of questions today. I'm very excited. Late to Gaming on Twitter asks, "Will we ever have another completely separate standalone handheld console from Nintendo?" No.
No.
Next. No. I think whatever they do is going to be a hybrid. I
Yeah.
like. I mean, I don't want to have this conversation again, but like we've had so many conversations of like what does Nintendo do after the Switch because this is the perfect device for them. This is seriously the perfect device for Nintendo. Unless it's like a 4K version or a beefier version of or some sort. I don't need a 4K Switch, right? Like it just needs to be a little bit more powerful, let the games run cleaner, whatever. But I don't think we'll ever get another handheld console from Nintendo. I think the closest thing you're going to get is a Switch Lite.
Yeah. I think right now, at this point in time, if you want to, well, I won't even say a separate standalone handheld console because to me personally, the Steam Deck is the only successful thing from Valve outside of them having a software thing on
Well,
computers.
their VR
Because
headsets are pretty successful. The Valve headsets are I wouldn't say that they're not the most successful, but they're pretty successful in terms of VR headsets.
I think I'm thinking more of hardware. I feel like the VR stuff is more accessory than it is a dedicated
Well,
handheld kind of
I mean the
thing.
PlayStation VR and or the Meta Quest have just
Uh,
eaten its lunch, but you know,
yeah,
but
but
I mean
but because I know that Steam had released that, was it a cloud-based system or whatever
they
system
well they released it was weird because they released the Steam controller, which is like a weird
yeah,
thing, and then they released the like little kind of console sized PCs that ran Steam
yeah,
OS. Uh, but then they just had like they perfected the Steam Link kind of thing, which was like you could just stream your PC to your TV or whatever and play it there. Uh, but they never really had like a console, which I'm actually shocked they've never like done a proper console, except for the fact that a lot of those games are so PC oriented and mouse and keyboard oriented. But I don't know. I'm not a PC gamer. Don't want to be. Don't need to be. I have Roller Coaster Tycoon installed on my PC, and that's it. You know, like I just don't care that
yeah.
much.
No disrespect to me, on me personally, to the PC players, but like I said, I grew up doing a lot of console gaming. I love my PC players. I love the PC community. I love what they do with it.
I would say I hear LaRon raging, but I know he's not listening to this because it's Nintendo Power Block. So
You know, uh, so I think for me, with I think me and Corey just agree, like because of the success of the Switch and how Nintendo wants to innovate, they have been making good business with releasing things on the Switch. Now, I'm not saying that we won't see anything in the future where they will go back to it, but it literally depends if Nintendo and maybe the next president or whoever makes the next business decisions way past in the future, if they decided to go back to bringing handheld and they go to a box or even a USB design kind of chip. It depends on what the technology is in the future for
mm-hmm.
Nintendo to jump in. But
the
like right
the
now,
the only
no.
way I could see them doing that, man, I can't even see them doing that. But like their whole leadership team would have to be super overhauled the way that Sony has kind of overhauled theirs over the last 15 years, right? Where like Sony has moved from a strategically Japanese based company to their whole PlayStation like uh executive branch is in Europe now, you know?
Hmm.
Like PlayStation is run out of Europe pretty much now, right? And that's the only way I could see Nintendo switching back would be like, oh, well, Nintendo's decided to move all of their company over to, their leadership over to Nintendo of America. And that leadership wants to challenge Microsoft and PlayStation as like a dominant 4K console with online whatever and super beefy console, right? Like that's the only way I could see Nintendo doing that, and they never will because Nintendo is so, for better or for worse, full of pride and so about their vision and their honor and their what do you call it? It's almost 1:30 in the morning. I'm like really struggling to find the right words, but you know what I mean. Like they're so into their culture is the word I was looking
Yes.
for, that they just would never ever ever do that. And I commend them for that. And it's why the Wii and the Switch were so successful, and why the Wii U failed, is because of their commitment to their ways, and
Hmm.
I don't know. I personally don't ever want to see them do that again. I don't. I want the Switch, and I want whatever comes after the Switch to basically be a Switch. Like, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Super Switch, Switch U, new Nintendo Switch
Switch
3D
U.
XL. I don't care what you
Switch.
call it. Just make another Switch, a little bit more powerful, that's backwards compatible, please. That's it.
Yes.
Sorry if that was like a really long workaround question, but sorry, I gotta make this timestamp here.
But thanks to Gamer for that question.
Yeah. Hope we answered it for you. Josh Martinez, this is our last question of the night. Josh Martinez writes in, he says, what if question? Let's say Mario and Zelda games no longer exist. Sad, I know. Who becomes the face of Nintendo? Which two series rise to the top as Nintendo's power hitters, or have the most potential to become such?
Can I answer first?
Yeah.
This one. Okay. So Nintendo's was going to upright and give that money to the Pokemon company and outright buy them, because Pikachu would be the face of Nintendo in a heartbeat. And the two series that's going to rise to the top is going to be Pokemon and probably Splatoon. They're not going to do Fire Emblem. They're not going to do Kid Icarus. They really can't do Smash because Zelda and Mario not in it.
I have completely different answers than you.
I would have said Animal Crossing, but I think Nintendo wants something to be a little bit more universal, like platforming and kind of well known. And I think Splatoon kind of fits that mold for Mario. But Pokemon, like with Pikachu, and just the way that the Pokemon is very noticeable around the world and everything, whether from the anime, the music and stuff, and Pikachu just himself is as an icon. I think I think Pikachu would be the face of it, and Pokemon would be the series, along with Splatoon for the two series to rise.
Yeah. My answer. Man, you take Mario out of the equation. Think of how many things you lose. You lose Mario Kart, you lose Mario Party, you lose all the sports games, you lose platformers, you lose Smash, you lose so much of Nintendo's identity when you take Mario out of the equation. Zelda, not so much. I mean, Zelda's big, but like, I think Zelda's easier to replace than Mario. I mean, I guess you could do like Donkey Kong, I think, would be the easy answer to replace Mario, right? Because, like, they have a lot of iconic characters. They had Diddy Kong Racing, so you could technically do Donkey Kong Racing, which was actually in development for GameCube at one point.
It's funny that you mentioned Donkey Kong, but go ahead, because I got some comments.
I think Donkey Kong is an easy substitute for Mario, right? Like, Donkey Kong could take the place of Mario, Diddy could take the place of Luigi, like King K. Rool is easily replacing Bowser. Like, there's just a lot of take Mario, plug and play type characters, right? And Cranky Kong, like, I think Donkey Kong could actually be much bigger than Nintendo actually has. Donkey Kong is a great franchise, and they just don't do anything with it. I think Donkey Kong's probably their oldest franchise that is still relevant, right? I mean, he's older than Mario at this point. Or the same age, I guess, if you include Jumpman in there. But I mean, Donkey Kong's 40th anniversary was last year, and nobody said anything.
Well, okay, so when Josh asked this question on Twitter, he said, "Keep in mind, Mario games include Yoshi, Donkey Kong, and all others."
Oh, you didn't include that in the doc.
Hold on. Nintendo Fire, shout out to them, said, "Don't you think DK should be excluded, especially since the first game he was featured in was called Donkey Kong in the '90s, had a new platform adventure game started in his name. in his name. I definitely think an exception can be made for DK since he can't stand on his own. Josh says, I guess we can make it Diller's choice. I feel like while he is largely separated, he does appear enough in the party, sports, and other games as well as Mario versus Donkey Kong
Yeah,
subseries. I'll
you're
leave it up
right.
to the questionnaires. And this is my response to that. I said we would have to separate we would have to separate it as for the first Mario game outside of the arcade was under the Atari 2600 titled Mario Brothers. And then Josh says Ed hitting me with the deep fact lines. So you can make it as Donkey
Mm.
Kong because Mario was actually on a whole different platform before he even became. Because
No,
Nintendo was
okay.
making games.
Uh,
Nintendo was making games for Atari. And the Mario Brothers started as the Mario series started as Mario Brothers on Atari.
I
Donkey
know.
Kong was something completely different at the time. So just because Donkey Kong showed up in Mario games, that wasn't until later or anything.
No.
Because the reverse is Mario showed up in Donkey Kong games, so you would have to get rid of Donkey Kong first before you get expand Mario. You know, uh, Mar- Mario didn't really. Mario and Donkey Kong didn't really show up that I could think of until like maybe Mario Party or maybe Smash Brothers, because Mario wasn't one of the main Mario series. Donkey Kong never entered. Donkey Kong had started having his own series where Mario was implemented in there in a sense.
All right. Well, let's make this more challenging then. Well, I'm going to eliminate Donkey Kong because that's what he said in the original question. So I'm going to eliminate Donkey Kong. Although I do think he would be a pretty powerful.
But the original question was just Mario Zelda.
I know,
when
but
he when he
I
broke
know.
everything down, I was just thinking the Mario games.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't think you can make Fire Emblem your powerhouse
No.
because there's not really a main character. There's a new set of characters every time you play, right?
Yes.
It would make sense if you continued the characters' storylines, but I don't. You can't do that when you introduce new characters every time.
And I think you gotta add in the factor
I
in
think
that Nintendo wants to make, if Nintendo does it, they want to make a game that's gonna be universal and family friendly that
Mhm.
represents what they're going for. It's the thing that Nintendo goes for, and then it's just a series, I should say. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Um. So, man, this is hard if you don't if you take out Donkey Kong and Yoshi and all that.
Because everybody thinks we're going to just say Metroid, and Metroid doesn't appeal to the Japanese population still. So
Yeah.
that's why I didn't add them.
Yeah. I mean, I think Star Fox could be an interesting thing, right?
Hmm.
Because like you can do multiple things with Star Fox. I know people don't want that, which I think is stupid. I think you need to expand and do something interesting with Star Fox to make it relevant today. But like, you could. I mean, it has a cool cast of characters. It's kind of Star Warsy, which people still like. I think it's somewhere. Uh, cool cast of characters. You could do the flight stuff. It's got cool vehicles. You could sell toys. I mean, they had Star Fox Adventures and Assault where you kind of do some ground stuff. Uh, I don't know. I think Star Fox could actually be a pretty powerful contender there if they did it right. Um, man, who? What else? What else could Nintendo do? Uh, I mean, like I think Samus is like a cool mascot, but
Hmm.
I think that would be more of like a secondary thing still because, like you said, that doesn't appeal to the Japanese market, and like retro games are hard, you know. So
And it's darker. And Nintendo is not such a dark company,
yeah,
And I think I'm probably just thinking of the first portion, who becomes the face of Nintendo,
hmm
and I think that's why I went with Pokemon because he's
yeah. I think. I mean,
I mean not he,
I think
but go ahead.
Pikachu. I think Pikachu is a great answer, but they would have to buy the Pokemon Company, which I don't think.
Which which I said that Nintendo
Hmm.
would up that money to keep the Pokemon on the Nintendo platform, besides the cards and all of that stuff, to keep them to make sure they don't go nobody else. Nintendo is going to up that money and they're going to acquire the Pokemon company.
Yeah.
They're going to do it because of the games. Now, I don't think they're so much worried about the merchandise and all of that. What the Pokemon company do, that's fine if they do that. But to get those games, Nintendo's going to put that money to get that company.
Yeah. Um. Man, I really don't have a second answer.
That's why, and well, if they, I think that's why I went with Splatoon also, because Splatoon is still kind of that family friendly look, and it's kind of cool, and it kind of caters to anybody, and I think it got just, I
Yeah,
think
but
it got
it
such.
has the Fire Emblem problem where you can't really there. It doesn't have like a main character. You know.
I don't think it's such so much as a main character that anybody is recognizing. I think it's the factor of what Splatoon is. And just having that cool design for it.
Yeah, but I mean, in that case, you could say Fire Emblem or Xenoblade. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, honestly, I think Xenoblade could actually be a pretty interesting. Hey, we have a super awesome RPG series here. Here it is, but Splatoon. I mean, Splatoon. Like, you just you just run into the Fire Emblem problem, and I don't think like, yeah, as cool as they look, that's nice and everything, but like, they're not
I think I think Splatoon would be for the
Bayonetta
face.
family friendly.
Oh no, no. Well, actually, I think Bayonetta could probably be the second portion of it, because I think these are two separate questions. What is the face of Nintendo? Okay, let's say it is Splatoon. What two series could rise to the top of Nintendo's power hitters or have the most potential? I think Xenoblade and Fire Emblem. Right now, definitely
Yeah.
Fire Emblem has rose to the top
Oh, Fire
after
Emblem.
Awakening.
I mean, like I said, I think this generation Xenoblade is going to be this generation's Fire Emblem, right? Like,
Yeah,
I mean, like two did pretty well at launch, and then I think people just fell in love with the series over time, and then three came out, and everybody's like, "Yeah, three's." I told you 2 years ago that Xenoblade Chronicles 3, whenever it happens, is going
hmm,
to be the breakout for the breakout hit for the series. And
yeah,
look at it.
yeah.
I mean, I I'm hardly ever right, but when I am right, I like to toot my own horn. You know, like I was like, woo. Uh, I know a lot of people are probably screaming, say Kirby. I'm like, no, Kirby sucks. Kirby's not. No, Kirby sucks.
I don't have nothing against Kirby,
No, Kirby
and
sucks.
I
Nope.
think Kirby could be a good selection for the face of Nintendo, but I think because of its this modern age, and you want something to be almost on the same level of what a Mario game can be or what Mario does, I think Splatoon has that factor than
Mm-hmm.
Kirby. Not a knock against Kirby, the Kirby games, but um, Kirby is such a more of an experimental idea of a character in their games, where Splatoon is, yeah, it's a little bit same, but I think you can, you know, you can use them in Smash like they have. You can use them in Mario Kart, or even have a kart racing game with a whole bunch of ink. Like, you could do some other stuff. You could probably do a tactical based game like Mario Rabbids with Splatoon
Well,
and everything.
on that end, you could totally make a Zelda like experience with Kid Icarus or Fire Emblem. You could totally make
Yeah,
like a JRPG out of Fire Emblem. You could make, you know, I mean, there's so many genres that like I'm shocked that Nintendo hasn't tried. You know, like
yeah.
Kid Icarus would be so cool in a Zelda type game or a J. Like, how many times have I said, man, I wish Fire Emblem Three Houses was a JRPG at some point, right? Like I like a traditional turn based RPG in some sort of Fire Emblem
Yes.
universe, right? Like I think that'd be so awesome. And they don't, which is fine. Like you need to diversify your lineup and have something for everybody, but like I just feel like these characters fit so well in all these other spaces, you know, where you could do multiple genres. I mean, look at Kirby. How many different things has he been in? 2D side scrollers, 3D side scrollers, the Rainbow Curse stuff, Canvas Curse stuff,
Kirby's Air Ride.
Robobot, Kirby's Air Ride,
Uh,
this stupid
was
birthday
he like
buffet cake crap coming out.
was he like a pin in a pinball
Yeah,
game or something?
yeah.
Like,
I mean,
and that's why I said like he's more of an experimental character when
mhm,
it comes to games.
yeah. So I mean, they could do a lot with all these characters. And I think Nintendo's starting to get more comfortable doing that. I mean, you look at the Warriors games, you look at Mario Rabbids, you look at
Mm-hmm.
the different stuff that Kirby's in, you look at how drastic the Fire Emblem franchise drifted away from the traditional strategy RPG stuff, right? Where you had the home base, where, yeah, I mean, in the other games you had home base, but you could actually walk around and have discussions, and it was more, you know, about the relationships that you built, through conversation and not just partnering them on the battlefield, and I think that that's important, and I think they're doing the right thing, and I think Xenoblade is a great step in the JRPG direction, and so, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's all the questions. I don't have anything else to say about that. I think there's a lot of franchises that could step up, and something we didn't consider. Nintendo could always make a new IP that just shines above the rest too. You know, they're not. I
Pretty
mean,
much.
uh, Pikmin. What GameCube it was GameCube's new IP. I think people just forget that Nintendo, like, they have so many characters that they have do so many things with, that I think people forget that Nintendo keeps creating new IP every generation,
Mm-hmm.
and people
Yeah.
just keep forgetting, right? Like during the Wii, it was Xenoblade, and with the Wii U, it was Splatoon, and Switch. What's the new IP for Switch? I don't nothing. I guess Mario Rabbids technically, but like, you know what I mean? Like they just keep reinventing themselves,
I
and
mean,
and I know people are
the
like, "Oh, Mario Odyssey is just more Mario." I'm like,
so like if for a new IP for Switch, it has to be Astral Chain. Even though Platinum Development,
hmm
Astral Chain is Nintendo's IP. That's
yeah.
like the newest one. Arms.
Oh yeah,
Arms
Arms.
is
I
the new
forgot Arms
is the new
existed.
IP.
Yeah.
You know.
Ribbon Girl
So
and Spring Man are the new faces of Nintendo.
you know what? That's not a bad idea. Arms literally could be up there.
Yeah, but the biggest ball drop that Nintendo made was not including a version of Little Mac in Arms.
That is true.
Come on, man. If you're not going to give us a new Punch Out and you're going to make a boxing game, put Little Mac in there. Put all the dumb put King Hippo in there. Who cares? Like, it just
Why do I
uh,
feel like the Arms team is making a new? Oh, no, that was Next Level who did Punch
I
Out.
I would
I
love a
wouldn't
new
be
Punch Out game. The
surprised.
Wii game was so fun. I
Yes.
mean, I know I kind of am not the biggest fan of the Wii, and I'm not ashamed to say so, but like, there were games on the Wii that were just really made for that console. Wii Sports was one of them, and
Mhm.
Punch Out was one of them. Man, Punch Out for Wii was so good, man. Give us a new
Yes.
Punch Out, Nintendo. Where's that at?
Well, Next Level just.
Even
Well,
if
I
you
mean,
just even if you just make an HD version of the Wii one, I would be so fine with that. With
so
like new characters.
I think my question would be: does Next Level do the like HD remake or not remake or HD remaster or something to bring the Switch? Because
Yeah.
I would add all the DLC in with Donkey Kong in it also, and then you can add the Arms characters if you want to. I'm down
hmm
for that if Next Level is down for it.
What if it was Arms versus Punch Out? um,
How quickly would we pre-order that game?
I mean, I would play it for sure.
Would you pre-order it just to have a copy?
Yes.
Okay.
By the way, all the franchises we didn't mention: Earthbound, F-Zero, Golden Sun. Sorry, guys. But Ed, that's all I got. That's all the questions we got. That's all the questions. We had a lot of questions. Thank you guys for writing in all these questions. It really,
Yes.
we have doc mode in there for a topic of the show, but when we have questions, it makes it makes this last section of the podcast way easier. So
Yes.
thank you for writing in. Really, I love. I know it's late. I know we've been going for almost 3 hours, but Ed, I love the way that Power Block is going, and I love the way that
Yes.
Expansion Pass is going, and I love when you're not working when we can do ranking Nintendo. It's so fun,
Oh yes.
man. I
Oh,
just I love the thing that we're rebuilding here at Power Block, and it's exciting. I love seeing growth, and I love people writing in, and just love it. And I love you, Ed.
I love you too, Corey.
I guess that probably
Thank you.
helps.
Yay.
Logan
Well,
commented on one of my tweets today. I said, I just wanted to see how people were reacting to our stuff, and I said,
mm,
well, let me find it. I said, I said something along the lines like, say something positive you get from me or our podcasts. And Logan had a really nice thing to say. He said, one of the best things I gained from my time at Boss Rush and now as a fan is getting to hear you and Ed banter. You are clearly amazing friends, and it's a motivation to build stronger connections with people.
thank you, Logan. Oh, I
Yeah,
read that too, and I was just like, oh,
yeah.
Logan is an awesome guy. I love him.
Hope you're doing well, Logan. I haven't
Yes.
really talked to you in a while, but I hope you're doing well.
Yes. Well, everybody, we're at the end of the show. We're gonna do some outros. Corey, where can they find you?
You can find me at I am Corey and HD on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me on the Boss Rush podcasts and Expansion Pass and various other things here. Check out Ranking Nintendo and the Ninja Turtles standard definitions and also the Disney ones. Very excited for those to go out soon. So yeah,
Yes. And you guys can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at that retro code. Um, you can check more of me on bossfish.net with my writings to give you guys heads up. In September, I will be celebrating the beauty of video games.
oh
And
no,
this this
I don't know why I
theme
said it like
is
that. I was just messing around.
oh, this theme is music to be marveled by. It's kind of a play on with Eminem's last album, "Music to Be Murdered By," which had an Alfred Hitchcock theme. My
That's
theme,
a great album, by the way. I know I'm not a
it,
big music guy, but I really like Eminem's last couple albums.
yeah. This one is I'm going to be focusing on video game soundtracks, composers, and hopefully I would get some people to do some podcast episodes with me to talk about video game music and sometimes music in general. So hopefully you guys will check that out next month on bossfish.net, and one of the thank in events to Bossfish Network for allowing me to have this project on the website. And everybody knows that this is more of an optional opinion kind of thing, but um, I'm very excited to be celebrating video game music for the beauty of video games this year, because there's a lot of it, and I I really want to say that even though it's going to be a lot of work, I really hope that people take the time to read it and contribute with some of the video game music that you like and everything. Because man, there's so much out there that not just is a soundtrack for those games, but kind of like a soundtrack for our lives in a sense. So, um, with that, everybody, have a great night, have a great day, have a great week, have a great weekend. We will see you next time on Nintendo Pop. Like, also remember, we have a giveaway. Corey, remind them one last time.
Oh
how they
no,
can
I
get.
I closed the doc already. You can enter the giveaway. We are giving away 2 copies of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Cowabunga Collection. The rules are simple: leave a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, screenshot it, and email it to nintendopowblock@gmail.com or DM them to @powblockpodcasts on Twitter. A great review on Apple Podcasts will grant you a second entry. Yeah, we'll give it away during the week of the game coming out, which is 2 weeks from now. 2 episodes from now. Monday, live on Twitch. Join us on the Boss Rush Network Twitch channel, and you will find out who wins there. And you will have, 48 or 72 hours to reply. Yes.
And with that, everybody, we'll see you next time on Nintendo Power Block. Bye, Ray. Woohoo!
Ed has to go to work in 3.5 hours, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.